Hello, hello, and welcome along to episode 16 of Mercenary Tales. It is with great regret that I tell you that Kian's kayaking in Kenya finally ended in a debacle, and he has kayaked all the way out of here. Kian has left due to some health issues. We hope to see him at another table in the future somewhere else. In the meantime, we have shipped in an old favourite, and Alora will be joining the table. I say in the meantime, Alora is staying till the end of the campaign, unless she chooses to leave. Yes. So welcome on in. No, if you die, you just get another character. That's how that works. Cool. With that in mind, who wants to tell us what drove Kian to such straits? What happened last episode? Nathan and Oscar are excluded, as you did the last two. Go ahead, Miller. You did not.
Last time we left off, things kicked off pretty instantly with a pretty nasty fight. If I remember correctly, we were standing around a ghastly figure who decided it'd be better if we all died. And some of us very much did. Myself, Jexera, and Belgrin all met a grisly end as the brothers and our old wizard had to then shamble us out of there. And we seemingly had our souls rested in some sort of flower, which was then inside this huge stone coffin. But upon receiving those and leaving to a previous puzzle door, we had found, I should say the rest of the party had found, a glass blade of some kind that seemed to harness or harbinge all of the souls that it had previously taken. And upon feeding and breaking it, we were revived with our flowers nearby. A lot of us didn't take it too well, but Kimball and Belgrin seemed somewhat okay with Jexera in a rougher position than the rest of us. And we all decided to head back up to the surface so that we could rest. After a little bit of looting and finding a wind elemental.
Yeah, and said wind elemental, or air elemental, was named last session by Miller. What did you call this lovely dude?
Windchester.
Windchester. Okay, and Windchester had a little competition this week, didn't he? Where we wanted to see which art we would use.
Kiara painted several paintings.
Kiara painted many paintings.
As well.
And there are two winners, technically. I'm going to give you guys the choice because one of them looks evil, but I think you guys might like it more. So my personal winner is Miller's original entry, which is over there if you want to click it in the chat. But I'm pretty sure you guys might prefer to have this. So do we want the group effort of a top-hatted air elemental, or shall we go with my original win?
Top hat.
I'm a personal fan of my own pick, but
Thank God Alora figured out what
Anybody else want to sway the vote?
I mean, I honestly would have voted for the other one. I just did the top hat for fun.
Is anybody else in favor of the top hat, or is it out the window?
I'm actually in favor of the other one, considering we just fought a lich. I like the bandages and everything. So I think it's on theme.
He deserves a top hat and a monocle.
He deserves nothing.
Perhaps then you will have to wait until later. The thing is
one.
How did you get the top hat in the bottle? You didn't, so you're gonna have
to.
No, exactly. So he doesn't have one. So you'll have to have one. You'll have to have one made for him. If it was a wizard hat, you had 5 of those spare. But unfortunately, it's not a wizard hat. So Windchester. I believe you guys. Oh, I can just ping that at Miller repetitively. That's annoying.
Oh, Alora, by the way, if you ever need wizard hats, I am stashing 5.
I genuinely said, do you want any of these wizard hats? I said, I'm sure somebody will give them to you in character. I will make a handout for our lovely friend Windchester and put it there. But
I also have
you do have the character token, but that's an actual token. It's not so it'll look like this when it's on the sheet.
Powerful.
By the way, Alora, we're using the Mercenary Tales thing to post pictures and stuff and memes and things.
She's used to it.
And has to look at it anyway, even if she's not part of the group. She has responsibilities. I don't know how to make a handout, so I won't. So yeah, excellent recap. At the end of your long rest, well, yeah, at the end of your long rest, you're all awake. It's about 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. On the, I don't know how many days passed while you were in there. It is the 9th of Shez. At 8 a.m.
It's been 84
think we slept
years.
once.
Yeah, I think you took a rest in there and a rest when you got out. This was probably a Kensidon breakfast, I would assume. So as you all wake up and find Kensidon sort of standing at the pot getting breakfast ready, I'll hand over to you.
What's for breakfast? I'm not saying that in character. I'm just curious what you're making.
Well, I'm sure somebody will say it in character, but yeah, I'm kind of just very quietly, solemnly sitting over the table, just stirring. We're just gonna have a little bit of breakfast soup. I needed something warm. I don't know if you guys feel the same way. Just something comforting, something that might be just a little bit.
Yeah, I feel that.
Just something not too much. I diced some potatoes, threw it in there, just some spices. It should be a little thick, but get us going.
Okay. Good chowder.
James, that's a 21.
Ooh.
Okay.
Damn.
If your name is not Alora, you can have 7 increase to max HP.
That's.
Did you say 7?
Yeah, it almost makes
yeah,
up for the
it's
minus
everything
10.
It's everything that's over 14. Kensidon, how many times did you go down in there? Just the once, right?
I only went down once, yeah.
Yeah. So you would have no exhaustion, so that makes sense. Okay.
Is dying count as going down?
Kensidon didn't die, so.
That's for me.
He
Yeah,
did,
so
but we
you
brought
get
him back.
you get 2 levels of exhaustion when you are revivified or resurrected anyway.
So I'd have 1.
Was I, even though
So
the thing like completely cured everything on me?
Post long rest, you would have 1, with the exception of Belgren, I think, who went down 3 times,
down
with
twice.
the third one being your death, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you would have got
So
yourself
that'll
up to
give
a
you-
spicy 4, and you're now down to 3.
So am I at
That's
1,
lovely, isn't
James,
it?
or am I at 0?
Why would you be at 1?
Because I got revivified at one point, but I know that was like...
No, you did not get revivified. You used a res thing that also used heal, which would remove the exhausted condition.
Okay, right. Well,
Are those tracked in D&D Beyond, or are we just tracking those ourselves?
We can't track them in D&D Beyond specifically. I can track them with cards, but I will need to ask you how many you should have. But
I
Jex,
should have.
you went down once and then took a long rest. Oh, you died once and then. Yeah.
I died once and took a long rest, so I should be 1.
Yeah.
I think.
The same for Kimball. That's correct.
Yep.
None for Oscar. And then
Gimme.
a sumptuous 3 for our brave dwarf. And none for you, Josh. You just spent.
I am
entire
yet
time...
to go down.
You just spent your entire time as an animal, which was cheating.
I was written on the bathroom stalls.
Now, yeah, you well, being an animal is cheating, right? So that's why you don't have any. So you'll see in Roll20 that you have a little card above your head, which will allow you to keep track of how many exhaustion levels you have. It's the black mean card. You can also click on it.
Bad card.
You can also click on it to read it to remind you of exactly what that means for you. At any given number, but if you want to know right now, it's a -1 to all your d20 rolls per level of exhaustion, and a -1 to your DC of your abilities. As your slightly exhausted backsides gather round the campfire for a breakfast, what are we feeling? What are we thinking? What are we doing?
So, those that rise in the morning will realize that Jexera's tent has undergone a little bit of a transformation. So, she has a very unique tent that has that utilizes cactus ribs, and they are very bendy. And she has a cunningly made little tent that becomes like a little dome. Kind of like a modern tent that has like tent poles that slide together and make a space inside. The outside of her tent is the hide of some creature, which is kind of strange. It's like tan-hide on the inside. The outside looks kind of almost scaly, but it's like just like more like kind of like crocodile skin. But it's of something that was pretty large because it's cut in all one piece. So it's waterproof. But she has actually flipped at some point, like in the night, she had flipped the waterproof side to the inside, and so it's the tent looks the same, like a little dome with a tiny little hole at the top, but the waterproof side is now flipped inward, and there is like some puffs of like white steam coming out of the top of the tent,
Is that so your
and it's
tears
all,
can't
all
escape?
closed up.
Kenson having seen that happen at night since he doesn't sleep, pretty much. I get 4 hours. I take first and last
Sure.
watch.
That's true.
Yeah, I've missed. I didn't say anything. Just thought he was might be up in the.
It's way too much
Hotline
smoke for that.
Himself.
If it's you don't think it's that kind of smoke. If it was, then she's really hot.
She's burning herself alive.
Yes. But in the morning, the white smoke kind of ends after a while, and eventually emerges from the tent. When people are starting to get up, she gets up really early anyway.
Oh, so we get talking time, Jax. You and I all the time. You know
If
what?
you want it.
We could spar in the morning before I cook breakfast.
Yeah, that won't
actually,
wake
to
anyone up.
Yeah. Step away.
If we want to use that to like wake up the group, because there'll be like lots of ringing bells and then clangs and stuff.
There you go. Yeah, they'll wake up combat.
Perhaps on a more traditional
breakfast is
morning,
ready.
but this morning, perhaps not feeling up to sparring.
Yeah,
Not
this
quite.
morning, Jaxera just kind of comes out. She looks like she's like clean, and she has like redone all of her clothes, rewrapped everything so that everything looks like she's fresh. But she's got big dark circles under her eyes, and just kind of silently comes to the fire and just sits.
Jax, you look awfully well bathed.
It was necessary to cleanse
Did
after
anybody
what
else
happened.
think that they need to clean or anything? I guess I hadn't really done it either.
You are welcome to use my tent if you need.
I will just reach into my bag and pull out my cleansing stone. Offer it to anybody that wants to, feel clean.
But that is not the same thing, however.
No, I agree. It's definitely there's nothing quite as good as actually washing yourself, but it's just, saves time, I guess.
I've heard that wetlanders actually submerge themselves in water to clean.
Yeah.
Sounds horrible.
It's wonderful.
From
No.
a really windy nearby tent, you hear it's actually pretty great.
It's fantastic.
You look over, you see the tent.
It's like billowing.
Little wind elemental, air elemental sticks its head out.
You got a free dryer in there.
It's really windy in here.
Probably have him get outside of the tent, Kimball.
Yeah, I crawl out.
Once you're all gathered around the campfire, Finn will finally head out. Looks around. Well, for what it's worth, I'm going to get my real bath. I'm giving this up.
I don't know.
Sarah looks offended.
What?
I'm giving this
You
up.
leaving?
Happen.
What do you mean?
But the alchemy.
You see what happened in there? Died. More than one of you. This is too much to risk. I thought it'd be fun. Learn a bit of magic. Find some cool uncovered treasures and pop back home.
But we promised that we would keep going.
How are you gonna raise dead bodies when you're at home? It's gonna look really.
The next
really
dead
weird
body
out
I'm
there.
going to be raising is going to be yours. Or his. And she points to Kimball. And, I'm not up to it, guys. I'm not willing to.
There's no easy way to gain honor for yourself and your family. If you go now, then that will never be yours. You will.
This was never
you might
about
live-
honor. It was about finding unusual magic, traveling and seeing the world, and frankly, I'd like to see some other part of it way away from these Untamed Lands. Like the college in Silvercrest or something.
You can't go back by yourself. At least stay with us until we're finished.
See another day at this place. And as
you
he
head
says
back-
that, a female comes running towards the camp. What do you look like?
That was a lot earlier than I expected. Well, she is sprinting toward your camp in robes that probably were once white and are currently stained with dirt and multiple different colors of blood. And she looks very haggard. She stumbles towards you and falls to her hands and knees.
Whoa.
Jexera's got is up and has a spear to your throat.
Lovely.
I'm gonna run over and like push this spear away. What are you doing?
like,
are you okay? And I'm gonna dunk a healing word into you.
Okay, you don't
Could
actually
be
have to
a threat.
expend the spell slot, as I didn't make Laura start with a damaged character.
Sure,
It's
that's
okay.
fine.
I started myself with a damaged character.
Oh, you
and then
did?
healed me back
Go
up. I'm
ahead,
doing it
heal.
again.
Perfect, yeah. Yeah, so it's like it's this like moss green like energy kind of like envelops you and makes you feel warm on the inside. And that is a mighty 9,
Woo!
pun intended, healing there, max healing.
Is he still chasing me?
I've looked behind.
I'm immediately looking
Yeah,
that way.
Um,
Yeah.
As you look behind, you will see, sort of stumbling after, looking also very haggard, incredibly tired, and sort of wielding a battle axe that's sort of drooping towards the ground. A very angry-looking orc comes in and sort of raises the axe towards you guys, but it looks a little pitiful. It does look like it's still intending to kill our lovely friends.
My God, you might be the fastest wizard I've ever
Yeah,
seen.
I'm
if you
going to
ever have a mark.
definitely.
I mean, I shoot it, you know.
Okay.
I'll
shoot it.
call to it. I'll call to it first, and I'll be like, "Give it up. This is going to be your death. Go back from whence you came."
He hurls an insult at you in a language you don't speak, but it's pretty clear he's basically told you to fuck off. Kimball, roll to hit.
Okay. I'm gonna bonus action steady aim if I can.
Of course you can. You just sort of cock the crossbow straight over the shoulder of unknown named wizard.
25 to hit.
Oh yeah, straight through the throat, sort of, and then you just see the orc sort of almost stand dead still for a second, and then just fall backwards and slump in on itself.
Well,
How
that's
much
an ear, I
XP did we
guess.
get for that?
All right, never mind on the fastest wizard I've ever seen. That was the weakest orc I've ever
I was
seen. What?
about to
Well, he was
say,
very
guys.
injured when the bolt
Mhm.
came through his throat, so you would know that.
What are you doing here? Where is the rest of your group?
They're all dead.
Oh.
Ben just looks around. You see my point?
But this is why
She
we
looks
have
like
to
a
look
wizard.
out for it.
And then you just
Yeah,
see him
probably.
sort of reach over into his backpack and like start chucking different equipment on the floor. Like this and that. Like,
the
here's the
alchemy.
robes, here's the alchemy kit, here's the bag of herbs, here's the components. You take it, protect them all. I'm done with this group. And then he just sort
No.
of pulls out a scroll and starts reading from the scroll. And you just see Kiara sort of coming out of her tent, like, wait, that's mine!
Oh,
that's
wait.
mine! And then
Motherfucker.
as you'll see a big blue door appear and Finn step through it and shut it behind him. Kiara just looks around you all and that was my way home.
It's okay. Kiara, when we get home, we'll chastise him very well for what he just did. Stealing is not
You're
okay.
never gonna make it home.
Oh.
I didn't mean to say that.
Ouch.
She sort of puts her hand over her mouth to try to put the words back in and I'm just...
You have painting to do. How are you supposed to do without us?
I was gonna paint Danek's resting place and then use the scroll to go home.
Well, guess you better trust us.
Can you?
We can.
And she looks over towards unnamed wizard, and I'm sorry for what happened to your friends. Here I have a healer's kit. Can you teleport? Like long distances? Really?
If I could teleport, do you think I would have sprinted into your camp?
Could you do it after a nap? I know how wizards
No.
work. Right.
I'm just gonna start slowly picking up the alchemy equipment.
Strange wizard. Welcome.
Morgan.
I'm
My
Ken.
name is Morgan.
Well, nice to meet you, Morgan. I'm Kensidon. It's my brother. I'm sure he'll like to introduce himself. That's Hugo. I made a nice hearty stew for breakfast. Go ahead and if you want to take a little bit. Finn didn't eat anything, so I guess he was gonna eat at home. So there might be a little bit left. Maybe something to get you on your feet a little bit.
Man,
Are there more orcs out there?
I don't see any coming, but I can't believe he just left like that.
Yeah, he's been a little quiet the last couple of weeks.
Months. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Are there any more orcs coming, Morgan?
I think we killed them all. I think he was the last one.
Well, why
you're
didn't you
safe
kill him
now.
too? Seems like you left the job unfinished.
Let's finish now, is it not?
Well, take a look at her. She's exhausted and beaten.
I think she tried, and no offense, maybe didn't do so well.
She probably ran out of magic. It's to be fair.
You just hear Kiara. I told you that's how wizards work.
Finn ran out of magic a few times. Come on, guys, you don't remember? Have you ever seen a wizard try and swing a stick at somebody?
Does Morgan have a stick?
Yes, she does. She does have a staff that's currently on the floor in front of her. I will
No
slam
offense.
it into the ground to pull myself up.
No offense. It's just kind of pathetic when you swing that. It's just not like no offense.
Well, of course, there's no point on the tip of this stick.
Well, I
not
mean,
meant for
even
swinging.
like
It's
even
not
like
meant
if
for
you were trying
swinging,
to
guys.
hit them hard, like it's not gonna do much when you got muscles that look like sticks.
In the meantime, you look a little fucked up. How about we give her one of those tapestry or the things we got, the clothes that let you look whatever you want them to look like? Didn't we get some of those?
Or fabric of that changes into anything we want. We all got two.
You could do, but there is also a fabulous-looking wizard robe just lying on the
Oh
floor.
yeah, here you go.
Fabulous working. You want that? It's
You
made
definitely
for,
want that one.
We had a wizard,
It
we
might
don't
be a little
anymore.
big, but I think you probably know how to work that a little bit. I swing the swords. It's about all that I do.
You will note that despite leaving the wizard robe behind and pretty much every other piece of equipment, Finn did
Did
take
he
his
make
weather
it?
protective hat. No, he had normal clothes. He had his
He took
original
the robe
dark
off,
blue
he's
robe.
like, oh,
No, he
boy.
wasn't. He wasn't wearing his dragon-scaled robe in bed, right? He was wearing his normal robe. When he came out, he threw the dragon-scaled robe on the floor, but he did keep his weather protective hat.
Sorry, I
Okay.
said I only swing swords. That's a lie. I also make delicious breakfast. Once again, try some.
You can take the plus.
Yes, thank you.
Those are pretty much the only two things that Kensidin can do. But he's very effective at both of those.
And forgive me for assuming, but I'm guessing you probably need help getting home, right?
I would very much appreciate that.
Well,
Where is home?
Soon be on the wall, no?
I grew up in Silvercrest, but I'm supposed to be adventuring. It's what I was trained to do.
Were you part of a named group? Perhaps someone on the lists?
We called ourselves the Five Lanterns.
Each one of you can give me a history check.
History.
Not currently on the leaderboards, as this was their journey out, so...
19.
I got a unnatural one.
19.
Holy smokes! Who knew I knew how to do history?
Anybody who got above a 17 will know of the Five Lanterns. A fairly, about as, maybe as experienced as you guys, maybe a little bit more. They've been out in the Untamed Lands once before. This was their second
more
trip
experienced
in.
than us.
Well, yes and no. There aren't many of them left.
Wow.
But I'm done.
The last lantern stands with you.
Belgun, could you maybe check, make sure that she's not like got any broken ribs or anything?
Well, if adventuring's what you want to do, we seem to need a slot to fill in the wizard department.
Belgun, did you want to do so? That?
Yeah, I guess I'd take a quick look and see if there's anything, like, or any region that's like more predominantly injured. I guess over the others. I feel like it's really obvious if someone were to have a broken arm. You know?
Yeah, I mean, you can give me a medicine
really
check from where you're
battered.
sat.
She looks really battered, but a lot of the blood itself seems to not be hers.
We're
Medicine check is at 18.
18? Yeah.
Oh no, sorry. I'm having to apply a -3 to these.
Well, 15 is still
So
passed, so
15.
that's fine. Yeah, with a 15, you would be aware that you'd recognize immediately the blood on the robes is way too dark to be human blood. Probably mostly orc blood. You'll also notice that the grime of the road is making Morgan look far worse than she was. Although, you know, she's been running a long time and maybe took a blow or two, it's not like she took an axe to the hip or has any broken ribs or anything like that. And, in fact, beneath the fairly roughed up exterior, she's doing pretty well.
If you need a bath, I have a steam tent here. Or do you prefer the awful?
I have a cleansing stone if you want to speed up fast.
Kiara sort of looks at you and, what's a steam tent?
Luxury.
Luxury? She like looks over it. It's like a small little like 2-person tent. It is just for bathing. You bathe, do you not? Or do you do the horrible submersion thing? Where you get
like
into
bath?
water? Yes,
yeah.
the bath.
No.
This bath is that is not a bath. That is some kind of torture, I think.
It's called a bath. You
The
bathe yourself
bewilderment
in
on
water.
everybody's face.
If you don't have a spoon, then you are not taking a bath.
Derek sort of looks over and, I'm with him. I don't trust baths either.
Yeah, but do you call them like...
Wait, how do you bathe without submerging yourself in water?
You don't. The rain will do.
I understand the steam part of it, like to a degree, but like,
You know what?
hot water just feels nice.
I'm gonna invent a new type of cleaning yourself with water. It's gonna happen. We gotta find a better way.
I've heard if you have it sprinkle from like a metal device over your head, that pretty good too.
I'm confused about the spoon.
Yeah, I was also confused about the spoon, to be fair.
But you don't have a spoon in your bath?
No.
Long one?
But how do you bathe?
You create the steam, you contain it, you remove your clothing, you sweat, and then you use the spoon to scrape the sweat and dirt. All the dirt comes off with your sweat. It's very cleansing, and then you are clean.
Wait,
so that sounds like really unfortunate. Did you
How
want to just
bad
use the
do
stone?
you smell right now?
Just to let you guys know, this is a fairly traditional desert bathing system in real life too. It does work quite well. They do normally rinse themselves with cold water afterwards in real life, but
I'm not a fan of scraping my body.
so
with
you
water.
wouldn't smell that bad because the steam has like natural water
Yeah.
to it, moisture to it.
Well,
So Jax isn't sitting there like she's just sweated off the dirt.
So if you don't want to scrape your body with a spoon, here's a stone. It's...
Thank you. I think I'll go. For, thank you.
Yeah.
Anthony,
Well-
can I speak with you?
One second. I gotta introduce myself. I don't only swing swords and cook food. I also came up with the great name of this group of good company.
The
We should
glazing is
probably
crazy.
describe our
Silence.
characters too. so that Alora
Only
knows what she's seeing.
Kensidon introduced said name. Anybody else got a name?
Kimball.
Oh yeah. And I introduced Hugo, but I'm sure.
Yeah, specifically after the sentence, I'm sure he wants to introduce himself. He's Hugo, is what you said.
Oh, very purposefully, yes. That is my character.
Strange desert lady.
Shade
Oh, yeah,
and Water friend. She doesn't give a name.
She's bathed with spoon. That's her name.
You can also
I
call her
just
Sticks
sort
if
of
you
give a
want.
greeting nod, a little bit of confusion.
I'm
Her
Kiara.
name's Jack Sarah.
I'm not an adventurer. Kiara looks over at you and I'm a painter. And, that was my scroll that, if you didn't get it, that the other wizard used to get back. So now I'm here for the long haul. I do a little healing, but... are you still missing any hit points?
Yeah, a little bit.
If so, she will healing kit you, which is been a
Ooh la la.
rather nice addition for this group. So you'll take 11 hit points.
Ooh.
Should unless you're the highest hit point wizard in history, that should be the rest of your hit point pool.
That is the rest of my hit points.
Cool. And then Dernick will sort of look over. He's the. I'm Dernick. I don't swing weapons either.
No, he
Not an
does have a
adventurer.
sweet axe we gave him last week, but
Right, yeah. He sort of motions, and you can see that it's currently wedged in the tree behind him.
I don't think it was meant for that, but okay. Yeah, guy with the goggles.
Oh, yeah, I'm Kimball. I make stuff.
He also
And unlock
shoots real
things.
good. Yeah.
And shoots, yeah.
I think she might have noticed that. He sort of crossbowed the orc that was chasing her.
Oh, and Captain America. Sorry, Thor. Thor down there. Thor.
A bit of both, really.
Yeah, really.
Okay. I was gonna say, Belden will probably stand up a little bit. You'll see like a very noticeable difficulty. Like he's kind of using the shield that he's got with him to kind of get himself to his feet. And we'll try and like walk over and actually like give you a proper like handshake, my greeting. Well, that tells you his name.
I will like return the formality of like standing straight and like straightening my shoulders and going for a proper handshake.
Be careful. If you stand straight up though, you might be a little too tall. You might still have to put your arm a little down, but
I am a wood elf. I am 5'11", 6 foot on Tinder.
I did let obviously Laura had a chance to watch previous episodes,
Yeah,
so she should, I think, know pretty much what she's looking at.
Okay.
So
Well,
we'll just stick
what
with
you do
character
know
arcs
is
for now.
I'm shredded, ripped, jacked as fuck. I am that guy. I lift anything.
Dernick just sort of, anyway, what you were saying your companions fell in battle. Do you want to talk about it?
Not particularly, although I am surprised you all seem. I mean, one of you left, but you all seem fairly unscathed.
Nah,
so-
3 of them died yesterday.
Oh well. Oh.
I like to approach.
You look great.
Yeah, I like to approach dangerous times with.
Sorry, 4 of them died yesterday. Carry on as you are.
I like to come to hard, sad things with a sense of we can do better about it, you know, and we're doing great, you know. Kimball wants to talk to me in a second. I don't know what that's about, but you know, it's yeah.
You shouldn't lie to her.
I'm not lying.
We're
I
not
died
doing
the
great.
other day.
Just yesterday, actually. Horrible.
I did 2 days ago. Did I not?
I mean, I don't think saying we're doing great's really accurate. I mean, we're having it a little rough, but we're alive, thankfully.
Do you want us to try to go back for your friends? Perhaps one of them survived?
There's nothing left.
When you say that, what do you mean there's nothing left?
I mean that one of them was eaten by a monster days ago. It
Oh.
was kind of horrifying. And the others, I'm pretty sure that the orcs chopped their heads off after they went down.
Hmm.
This is very cruel and brutal,
Did
even for me.
the orcs also die, or?
I was left with 3 of them, and I managed to take out 2 while
And
running.
that last one was chasing you.
Thank you for that, by the way.
It's fine. So just question for you. How many orcs in total were you guys fighting?
They sort of came in waves.
Okay. But like a lot of them?
Less than 60, more than 3. Up to you.
We fought a bunch of
37.
37? I
My favorite number.
grab Kenson by the fucking collar and I pull him to the side and I go, we need to go back there for those fucking ears right now, because if we get all of those things and we take them back, we're going high on that leaderboard.
Put 2 hands on him to stabilize him there for a second and be like, her entire party is dead right there. I don't think she wants to go back there right now.
I don't know this person, alright? I can go get him if I really need to, alright?
Listen. Kian, Finn just left. We need a wizard. Let's not offend her. We need to do good.
Listen, man, I'm fucking losing my shit right now.
Listen,
that guy was my friend, alright?
Bring that energy that you have, like, in a couple of hours maybe when she gets to know us a little bit better, but not right now.
Okay.
Right now.
Just for the record, these 2 are over there somewhere. Like, they're not here. They're having this conversation far enough away that Morgan is not hearing. Is that correct?
Yeah. I'm gonna just get back.
I'm gonna walk back awkwardly.
By the rocks.
When you say over here somewhere, I'm on a white map.
Are you?
Oh.
How refreshing. Oh, no! No, I know where you are.
No,
I know where you are. Yeah. You're on the what does my thing look like page. Select. Go. Is this how we do this?
I'm on the page of testing spells and making sure that they're sized properly.
And are they?
They are now.
Are you here now?
Yes.
Great. Okay. You've been here all along. You just didn't know it. Yeah. Welcome to the campsite. We threw a fin
It
out.
looks familiar.
Does it? I don't use it for all campaigns. Don't be ridiculous.
Never.
I
Ever.
reveal my secrets. It has a nighttime
Just has
version.
to have his tent. He has to have his tent right in the same spot every night. It's so particular.
That rocks.
To be fair, I do have a lot of other campsite pictures for this group, but they decided to camp somewhere I didn't have any pictures for.
Well, Morgan.
Decided's a strong word. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
As I was saying, we're good company. We have a donkey back at home. His name is the Messenger. He delivers good company.
Okay.
Morgan, give me a history check.
Suffering sigh.
Me?
No, Morgan, give me a history check.
Ooh, that's a terrible first roll. 11.
Okay, it's okay. If you had gotten that 20, you still wouldn't have known. You have no idea who good company are.
We are.
Neither does the rest of the world.
No, exactly. You could have rolled a nat 20. It still would have been a fail.
This
We're
is our.
sort of company.
Yeah, we just started. This is
We're
our
in
first time
transition.
out here. Obviously, it's going pretty good. I'd say we're all alive now, but
Sarah just looks at him when he says alive.
now I said now. We might have dealt with some struggles, but it seems the slot's open, and if you want to just keep adventuring, I don't think anybody's gonna turn down filling that spot open. Filling that spot open, that was kind of.
If you're willing, I kind of like awkwardly start picking up the items that are on the floor.
Oh yeah, free stuff. He left it. I don't think. I mean, we can kind of split it amongst us, or you can have it all. I don't really know. If there's gold in there.
No,
Kimball's gonna take it, or it's already gone. Kimball probably already took it, to be fair. But yeah,
He stops bending over and like backs up 2 feet. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
So, Kimball does already have the alchemy equipment and the ingredients. The only other things that Finn would have left are the sort of useful wizarding and venturing stuff he picked picked up, e.g., the spellbook he got, the Skywrite Quill, and the Wonder Binding.
He also
And
picked
those
up a lot of
mages rules.
ingredients.
Yeah. I've given those all to Kimball. And the mage's robes. The only thing that he would hand over to you guys, as opposed to specifically to Morgan, would have been the 2 books. And these 2 books he will put one in Belgren's hand. And before he left, he would have put one in Belgren's hand and one in Kimball's hand. The one that he puts in Belgren's hand is actually, there's 2. I think there's one is the history of Oakhaven. I have no idea what you're going to do with that, but he had it. But the other is everything an adventurer needs to know about the Untamed Lands, which is that book that he had been referring to with the information about being here. The book that he hands you, Kimball, is a budding alchemist's guide to healing potions. And if you can remember what the buff on it was, that's great, because I can't.
Something like it reduces costs on making potions by a little bit.
James.
Yeah?
Look at your chat.
Look at my chat. Which chat? I don't know.
Twitch.
Which? Oh. Hey,
You have a new subscriber?
Nah, maybe. No, I don't know. Anyway, sorry, guys. Back to concentration. Yeah, so he would have given that book over to you.
Jexera kind of like leans over Morgan as she's like sitting there, just like giving her the once over from top to bottom. You claim to have killed several orcs, so that is a useful skill. I will vote to let you stay with us. Hopefully you are as skilled as you claim.
I'm personally, I just, there's a slot open, might as well fill it.
Thank you. You guys vote?
No, not really normally.
We can't vote on this.
It's less of a vote, more of
abandon
a
her
welcome
out
in.
here.
Yeah, welcome. Just come on in.
We don't vote on things?
No.
Not on something like this.
Not this.
Wait, who makes the decisions then? Who is the leader?
We're kind of like a democracy. I think we like.
That would mean voting.
But not for this. This is like this was a presidential.
Who's the president?
There is no president. It just makes sense. We can't just abandon her out here in this dangerous territory.
And then Finn just kind of fucking walked out on us. So
yeah, I'm a little pissed, honestly.
We need it anyway.
I mean, Finn is your childhood friend.
Let's not dive too deeply into that. Who knows where he's gone?
That's not the first time a friend has left. I avert my eyes from Kimball.
Listen. I went somewhere.
That's true.
It didn't work out, and I came back.
My sparring partner left literally the first week of adventuring, so let's be real here.
I guess
This does not exactly inspire confidence in our new companion.
And voting her out does?
Yeah, I feel like
I voted her in.
I voted her in. I guess. I
in.
think we're all voting her in. Yeah. Even if there is a vote, I think we all vote her in. Unless Belgren has something to say. Belgren?
I would say that we're usually more put together than this, but we're really not. But we are glad to have you around, at least.
Good enough. Welcome.
I don't mean to be rude, but are we going to camp outside the place where 4 of you died for the rest of the day, or are we going to get moving?
We sealed that tomb. We can be here as long as we want.
No, you didn't. There's a big open door, right?
No, we
we sealed the big scary guy. The tomb of the big scary guy. But yeah, no, we should probably
so
go
for
see
the
your wife's
reference,
dead body.
You're literally camping just outside this lovely, happy place.
Yeah.
You guys are like
that place is called
there.
Tomb of Annihilation.
You're just there. Like camping in the woods. There's like an open hole tomb right there. And then it's like, I don't suppose we could talk and walk or something.
We can walk and talk and talk and walk.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of things happen in the morning, but I probably would have said, like, I would have, if possible, have dedicated some time to actually going over there and taking the time, like using my hammer to actually bash the stones around the door to kind of make it either to completely bar anyone from going into there, or at least to make it like super difficult to try and climb and get in.
Yeah, you spend a while trying to crumble the rock and stone around the doorway, and you'll realize very quickly that it's very magically enhanced. That being said, there's loads of stones and rocks elsewhere. You can just sort of block the doorway completely.
Winchester, gather rocks and block the door.
Oh yes, this free slave.
The air elemental that thus far was in the tent and Morgan hadn't seen, just whooshes out straight past Morgan and over, and starts sort of winding stones into the... Winding, that's the word I'm going with. Blowing stones.
My guy.
Winding.
Sorry, Laura, go on.
He just did.
Hmm?
Who are
What?
you people?
We're good company.
Yeah, we're good company. Thank you, Kimball. Good way to put it.
We're such good company, we befriended the air around us.
Does anybody say he's Winchester, or does that just go under the table?
Oh yeah, that guy's Winchester, by the way. He's my new best friend.
Hey!
At that moment, the air elemental does sort of look around, and then just carry on, blowing rocks. His idea of friendship seems a little different.
I'm not offended. I'm offended for Hugo.
Hugo's everyone's best friend. That goes without saying.
Hey, well, he's my brother, not my best friend, okay?
Keeps
That's
trying to get me to
I'm
roll down
offended,
hills.
but
I
it's-
do not consider him my best
I,
friend.
I love him more than any of you.
I also don't consider a liar a best friend.
Liar.
Sorry, not a liar. A promise breaker.
Promise breaker. Me.
Not you.
No, not you.
Like Sarah. She broke her hill rowing promise.
Hugo, if I give you 5 gold, will you call me your bestie?
You don't need to give me 5 gold. You're all my close friends.
I'm his best friend. I grew up with him. Deal with it.
But I'm gonna, because it's a new day, it's a new dawn, it's a new life. I am going to summon.
Our boy.
Oh
Oh,
no!
man.
The suspense.
I summoned the
Gosh.
suspense.
You said, I'm going to summon, but you never finish your sentence.
Oh, sorry. My Discord just froze, and you all like went like froze still. I was like, oh no, what's happened? Yeah, I'm gonna summon Sean the sheep.
Sean.
Do you explain this?
No.
Can you at least describe it for Laura's benefit? What is Sean the Sheep? Because it's probably not actually Sean the Sheep, believe it or not, Laura.
Really?
It's not.
No!
No, unfortunately. So he basically, I think, is it a necklace? It just says it's a band. It's a necklace, right? Yeah. Anyways, regardless, he summons this spectral, very fluffy lamb. It's more of a lamb, really. And it's like very fluffy and very cute, but it is spectral. And it just kind of floats next to me, and every so often bars.
It is a that looks to me like a necklace with a little pendant.
Like a dog collar.
So it's that dog right there, but it's a heart. It's a heart. It's a sheep. It's a sheep. It's Sean. There's a heart on the locket. It confused me.
On roll 20 that you can
Is what a
share,
picture
James?
of him on roll 20?
A picture of Sean.
I don't have a picture of Sean. Do you have a picture of Sean?
Okay, I'll post it in the
Send
chat.
it to me in a DM, and I'll do the thing.
Oh Lord of mercy.
An eternal clock kind of ticks in Kensington's head as he walks over to the campfire and pulls out his fresh batch of 6 cookies. And he's gonna be like, "All right, cookie time, everybody."
These days are literally so good they can bring you back from the brink. Do not
Yeah, he
underestimate
explained
his
it.
cooking.
He explained it better. Yeah, no, these literally can bring you back from at least getting hit really hard. So, cookies, everybody. Everybody gets one. Everybody get a cookie.
On
Welcome, Morgan. Here's a cookie.
D&D Beyond, Laura, these are delectable treats.
So not
Please, for 1 HP.
eating right now.
Sorry, not what? No, don't eat them right now.
No, please do not eat it right now. Probably, like, I know
Eat it when you
they
need it.
smell delicious. Probably either eat it for yourself when you need it, or shove it down somebody's throat when they're not breathing real good.
Won't that make it worse?
Nope, surprisingly
no.
makes it better.
I've done it to
Okay.
Kenson, I think twice at this
You can
point.
do it as a
Yeah.
bonus. You can give it to somebody else as a bonus action as well, unlike the
Ooh.
potions, which require an action to give someone else. So they are, I think I give 1 HP and 2 temp. Because
There he
because
is.
our primary healer spends most of his time as a
Oh my gosh,
as
that's
a
adorable.
worm, cat, fish,
There
frog,
he is.
and caterpillar. A lot of the healing of this group comes from delectable treats. Belgrin can't be running around using actions to pick up people with sorry asses. So yeah, that's where it's at. Healing word is well consumed under animal form.
I'm going to kind of sidle over to Hugo and like, do you mind? And I'll just sort of reach out toward the sheep as if I could like pet it or do something, just like moving my hands around it, just like trying to see what it is.
Your hand goes straight through the edge of its fur. I think Josh has another 6 days before you can pet it.
I think I've summoned this. I think this is the third time I've summoned it.
That sounds like cheating to me. Can you
No,
summon it once a
'cause-
day?
No, you can summon it whenever you like. It's just if you summon it once a day for 7 consecutive days.
Okay, so yes, this would only be
then it
day 2.
becomes-
Because you only got it yesterday in that tomb just there.
Yes.
Yeah. We just
But it
left.
does glow.
While we are
Fascinating.
on the subject of introducing pets,
Oh, yeah.
was there something else you wanted to do with your sheep, Josh? No, good.
Wasn't that owlbear?
I was gonna say we have an owlbear.
I'm going to go into my tent. Jaxara's going to go into her tent and bring out an owlbear cub. It looks moderately well taken care of, maybe half. Looks a little ragged, but I'm gonna be continuing to work with that cub, and it looks like she is trying to teach it how to stay and come using little pieces of meat.
That's an owlbear cub.
That's
How-
good training right there.
How did you come across this?
It's very
we-
Baldur's Gate-esque.
We brutally murdered its mother, and it would have died if
That makes
we
sense.
had not.
No,
Yes.
that makes perfect sense.
It did attack us in our own defense, but I felt it was not right for it not to have a chance to survive. I am merely raising it until it is large enough to survive on
Attack
its own.
us?
Hopefully. If you don't behave.
Does it hunt small animals on its own?
Not yet.
It grubs
We're
about
still-
in the
it's still
ground
very
like
young.
worms and stuff.
I've
That's as
been
far
I've
as it
been
gets.
feeding it if I need to. Yeah.
It's a monstrosity. It will attack us.
By the way, if you guys ever want to like, I don't know, hunt or something, because I'm starting to run low on cooking supplies, please be more than willing.
This
to.
really looked like the place for it. And Danik will look around at these sort of, like, the drooping grass off the trees, the dead stillness going through the
I
trees.
think I'm more about meat than about herbs right now, Darnik, but that's great. Thank you for
As you look
contributing.
around, there is no animal in sight at all.
We
Well,
can't.
there's one.
Well, sure. There's no wild animals that are not currently being tamed by players going on.
We should go. We should.
Yeah.
We should.
Get him
We
a
should.
one. Hey,
We have
you
to
are
find
walking
Darnik's
through this-
wife's
through
grave.
this area.
I have a crazy idea. I'm gonna put my goggles on and hop onto the back of Winchester because can he hold things?
Oh,
Because it
God.
says on
That
his
is
sheet
a
that he has a carrying
very good
capacity.
question. Guys, I have music playing that I don't know how to get rid of. Just bear with me a second. We're going on a journey, and then I will answer that question.
Perfectly fine with me.
I have a theme tune because this is the only way I know to reset the fucking music. There's just a fire crackling somewhere, and I don't think you picked up the campfire and brought it through the forest.
Didn't we?
I hope not.
Winchester can do it, right? He's feeding it oxygen while he's carrying the fire. He could just carry the campfire.
Yeah, and you're
temporarily
always
become-
warm that way, Kimball.
Look, we're just trying to find out if he can carry a Kimball. I'm not sure if he can.
And I'm on fire.
While Kimball is thinking, and while we're still introducing pets, I'll snap my fingers, and a small white cat will appear on my shoulders.
Oh, I don't have a handout for that, but I will in a second.
Oh.
Get
Is
that.
that a fucking cat?
We got a cat now? Hey, that's better
You've
than
got
an
to be
owl.
fucking kidding me.
Cats are very good luck.
I can pet the cat. I can't pet that owl.
Couldn't pet the sheep.
Have you tried?
Well, Oliver wasn't a big fan, so.
I think she meant have you
Is
tried
that-
petting the cat.
Can I pet the cat? Can I pet that
You
cat?
can pet the cat.
I'm gonna
Is
pet the
that
cat.
thing hypoallergenic?
No, definitely not.
Fucking son of a bitch.
If you instead prefer,
I'm
if you said instead prefer, there's a tiny little token there. Look at it go.
petting that fucking cat.
As Sasha appears, I would like to wild shape into my cat form and prance on over.
Do not flirt with the cat. You go.
Just like BG3 romancing.
There I am.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
We're basically sisters.
How are we gonna
Okay,
tell you two apart now?
so-
You're two white cats.
Kimball. The air elemental has to concentrate very hard on being solid enough to carry you. So he can carry you, but not if he then tries to fly. Can he
Okay,
fly?
so he can.
They can fly, right?
He
No.
can fly it.
Yes, he can. 90-foot flight. Okay, yeah, but he only
He's
hovers,
very-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so no, that's fine. He can hover and carry you. That's fine. Just
He just can't go.
if like well, he can't go up anyway. But if
Yeah.
like combat was to happen, he may well drop you in his lack of concentration.
That's fine.
I'm gonna sit in front of Sasha. I'm gonna look up to Morgan and telepathically say, "Wow, for a magic is really lifelike and realistic."
Did you guys hear that?
Oh, is he talking in
orcs?
your head?
He's doing the head thing.
He's doing the head thing. I grew up with it, so it's not really that crazy. But yeah, he likes to have private conversations with your brain and nobody else's.
I will look back down at the cat and I will think very hard. What did you say? I missed it.
I said that considering, and I like slowly nod towards Sasha, that this is a product of your magic is very realistic.
Well, she is real. I mean, she's not just made of magic. She's summoned by magic.
Oh. That's amazing.
You're talking in my head.
Yeah, it's a halfling thing. I think people call it a ghostwise halfling thing.
Speaking of a halfling thing, your brother?
So we found him abandoned in a forest.
Like the owlbear.
And
I'm
so-
actually older.
Yeah, literally. And so my parents adopted him. My mom was still pregnant with me at the time.
I might not be
see.
able to hear this. Just kidding. I am older.
But
So
he
you and your
thinks-
brother just decided to go adventuring together? I never had any siblings.
Well, we have a pretty big friend group, so better to go as a group than alone. But just about the whole halfling thing, he thinks he's a halfling. I think it might be a bit crushing if he realizes he's a elf. So can you just play
Right.
along, please?
Oh, of course. He's a very tall halfling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he is.
Understood.
Thank you. And then I will. I'll come out of my cat form.
Just in case Elora is confused, Josh can do very small animals, 0 CR animals on demand. It doesn't cost us wild shape, so you'll see him
I
do that a
kind
lot.
of guessed that.
Okay, cool. Right, just in case you weren't aware, like he will be a lizard at some
I had a
point.
feeling he
and
wouldn't just throw
frog.
away wild shapes.
I don't know. You should see our Tuesday campaign. He uses his racial Zool before breakfast. Yeah, as you guys are traveling through this fairly dense forested area, it is very still, very quiet. You don't hear much of any sort of animal or anything. And I need each of you to roll me a D100, please, except for Miller.
Oh. A
68.
I fucking challenge anyone to roll lower than that.
Yeah, I got a nice little 6 for everybody.
Remembering the 1 during the the 100 during the storm.
Hey, I rolled a 100 the other day too to get the
The
amulet, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm just missing Belgren's.
68.
Okay. Kensington, no surprise, you rolled the lowest. Give me a dexterity save, please. This is against the natural land. It's Jex that has the one that the advantage.
That's
on.
a natural 20 for a 21.
Okay. So what happens is, as you're walking, suddenly the ground just gives way beneath you, and the mud starts sort of almost trying to pull you down.
I will teleport directly into my shadow behind me.
Okay, yeah, that works. And your shadow will then sort of just put its arm on the side and just pull itself out. At this point, as you look around, guys, you will notice that is... I don't know if you can call it quicksand when it's mud, but you get the idea. It's mud that does quicksand things. It tries to pull you down.
It's what got that guy from the Neverending Story, the horse.
Oh, Artax.
We go around,
Ding, ding, ding.
or do we just want to figure a way through?
I mean,
It's only a
How
very
big
small
it-
patch right now, but you would note that if it's there may be other
more of them.
patches.
Can we I easily see it now that we know that it's there? Like, could we identify it as we continue walking, or is it going to be like...
As soon as the shadow is
we're gonna
out,
need
you're
it?
not even sure exactly how wide that area was.
Well, guys, this seems like a really big problem. I'm sitting crisscross applesauce on top of Winchester. Like, I just don't really know how you're gonna get through this one.
For one
I mean-
second, you begin to fall through his arms, and then he just solidifies them again. You get the
Kimball, I don't know
impression
who
it
you're
was
talking
not an
to.
accident.
You know I can get through this pretty easy too.
I will sort of
Oh,
walk up next to Kensington and very confused, but sort of just taking it in that he made a copy of himself and then teleported and switched places with it. And I will just take my staff and sort of like put the end of it into the ground just to see if it sinks in.
Even though you absolutely saw Kensington fall through that very space of bog, you put your staff, and it feels like fairly solid ground.
Oh goodness.
Oh, it's solidified. Oh, that's not good.
I don't want to go into that. That's for sure.
Hmm.
Well,
it'll
I
be quite a
can
delay if we try to go around that. We don't know how
I can
much
go through
territory
these
this covers.
and then just keep going. You guys want me to go one way and then you guys find your way around? Me and Kimball, we can separate,
Out the area out if we really need to.
really scout it out.
Is
Kimball's
So
good
is
at looking at things.
assumably the mud is just like a mixture of dirt and water, right?
Right now, you can't find a patch of mud. You can only find solid ground. That patch that Kensington
Hugo,
definitely fell into is now being poked by with a stick, and it is solid as you get.
Hugo, you're good with dirt. Can you do something about that?
Are you good with dirt, Hugo?
He likes.
Do you
he
have
likes
special
earth.
dirt abilities that I'm
He
unaware
likes
of as the
he likes
DM?
Earth.
There's dirt abilities.
Yeah.
You like the earth? Yes, that is a little more close. Okay, I'll keep going. Hugo, what have you got? Anything?
Well, I was gonna say if it was just like a bunch of like quick mud, I was just gonna cast Destroy Water to destroy the water in the mud, so it was just dirt. But since that's not a thing,
Perhaps we should. You should become something very good in mud, and we can tie a rope to each of us so that we are all secured, except for Kensidin and Kimble. They might not require it, but Elgrin will sink very fast if he is pulled under.
Do we have the collective strength in the party to pull Belgrin back out?
Yeah,
Well, the
100%.
great thing is,
Even
I
without-
can also join in.
Yeah, even without the air elemental, Kensidin will be able to pull you out with ease.
Hmm.
He's very strong now.
Yeah, very strong. Thank you. The compliments, they go a long way. I do appreciate that.
You guys are all standing around talking, and then Durnix sinks.
I'm gonna
Mm.
grab.
Oh,
okay.
pull him out.
I'm going down!
I'll grab Dirk
Going-
and pull him out.
How? How are you going to grab him?
Is his arm still available?
Yeah, he's only knee deep.
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab both.
You're just
arms.
going to walk up? Great, give me a
Yeah.
dex save.
Ah, the classic.
Oh my goodness.
Typical 6.
Okay.
Typical.
You also begin
Kenton.
sinking.
Really
Well,
quick.
unfortunate for you, I'm gonna just teleport out.
Okay, so you teleport out, and now your shadow is sinking with Dernick.
I'm going to throw a rope to them.
Okay. He sort of grabs hold of it and pulls so hard. Jex, I need a strength save from you. As he immediately starts, he grabs onto it like as hard as he can to try and not to die.
If Jack starts
22.
using this, I'm gonna pull.
Okay. Yeah,
She
Jex, you plant your
just
footing on a
wrapped-
couple of
wraps
roots.
the rope around her
Mhm.
around her arm and like braces herself and uses her plants her spear in the ground.
My
and just,
shadows,
Pulls back with.
my shadow's gonna grab Durnick's like pants seam and then just go flying out and then just kind of float back towards me.
Okay.
Darnek, are you alright?
Covered in mud up to the knee, but I do seem to be alive.
Were you moving when you fell in, or did
No.
the mud just appear? Oh,
There I was, and then I was down, and now, he looks down and he's missing a boot.
As we want to move
Oh.
a little bit faster than standing still if we want to get
As you look
Yeah.
over to the where he fell, there is solid ground, and just at the top of the solid ground is the top bit of his boot.
It's a trap. I am going to wild shape into a giant toad.
Okay.
how big is a giant toad? Is it medium or
Biggest
large?
one.
It
giant
is
toad.
large.
Large. Okay, that's good.
as well known as Kensidin is for learning from his mistakes. I'm gonna go grab the boot.
Okay. You got to pull it. It's solid in the ground. Are you going to sort of dig up the ground around it and yank it out?
Yeah.
Okay. As soon as you get the boot completely out, the solid ground in the boot turns to mud and just falls out. Dernick sort of looks over you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And just puts his foot straight into the mud in the boot. Back into the boot.
That doesn't look good, guys.
We shall keep moving.
I'm gonna Jaxera's gonna start tying people off. She's
Okay.
gonna
He
tie
has
up,
not let go of that
tie
rope, by the way.
herself. He's gonna tie up herself, Kiara, Dernick, and Belgrin to Hugo. If Hugo allows that.
What about Morgan?
I will activate these new robes that I have. I will start floating.
Love that. You're gonna hover, but bear in mind you can't move horizontally
will-
unless you're pulled, right? So do
If
you want
I'm
a bit of rope?
able to hold on to the rope.
I can also just kind of grab a hold of you.
Oh yeah, but the rope if the rope is in a line, right? You can.
Yeah.
And are you gonna have
Okay,
Kimball's mount lead with the rope?
That's not a bad idea. Winchester at the front.
How do you explain this to your air elemental?
All right, Winchester, listen to me. We're gonna need to hold this real tight and keep going with everyone behind us. And while we're doing that, Chester, I'm gonna go ahead and take this bag of ball bearings I have, and I'm just gonna keep tossing them one by one in front of us to see if we can find any more of these mud pits.
And he can like suck them up the bottom
he-
as he passes them.
He lets you go to sit immediately
like
on the floor
recap.
and then grabs the rope.
That's fine. I will tie off to a section. I'm fucking dexterous as shit, so I'll be okay.
Okay. And yeah, I mean, you will note after a few that these ball bearings, like, they're not heavy enough to sink, even if the ground was sinking. But hopping in front of you is a toad, right?
So, what I was thinking
Mm-hmm.
is because my wild shape lasts 2 hours now. I was thinking of just picking someone up and jumping across,
Oh, me!
and then jumping back.
Jumping back across what, Josh? The ground randomly turned to mud and then went back to solid. In
Yeah,
two
so like just
completely
as
different
far as I
places.
can, just as far as I can jump.
Okay.
Because
Then you'll leave them there by the mud.
everywhere.
You don't know how far this will go on. The ground.
Well, this is the thing. So I'll just jump as far as I can, leave them there, jump back, and just ferry people back and forth from that area.
That is going to be
If you
the.
have
You are
three
going to move
wolves,
It's gonna
about
take
three chickens.
forever.
5 feet a minute at that rate.
What?
You'll move about 5 feet a minute at that rate.
Why?
How far can you jump?
So without running, I can jump 20 feet.
Okay, cool. So you jump 20 feet, jump 20 feet back, pick up another person, jump 20 feet, jump 20 feet back. You've got 7 people to go through. That is literally as physically slow as anyone could ever move. Can I suggest that instead, if somebody goes down in the mud, you jump in, get them, and jump out?
I
Yeah,
could
that's
do
how-
2 at a time if people are alright taking damage in my belly. Jeez.
But with the rope to the toad and the air elemental, you guys can definitely make it through. A couple of times, Hugo, you will have to sort of let's just pick on someone. Morgan. You're new.
Welcome.
We'll pick on you.
Amazing.
As you, I've just realised that I've written Isabel on all of the
Yes.
overlays. Well, never mind. I'll fix that as we go. Morgan, you randomly start sinking in the mud. That's nice, isn't it?
While floating.
Oh no, you're floating. Okay, who's not floating? Anyone not floating? Who hasn't sunk yet? Yeah, sure. Nathan has kindly volunteered. As Jack starts sinking, what does the toad do about it?
I watch. No, I'm just kidding.
We're all members of a big family except that one.
Yeah,
it's kind of true.
No, I will
Breaker.
hop on over, and with my big toad hands,
Okay.
pick her up.
Okay, that is sad. I was really hoping that you'd swallow Jaxera and then spit her out on solid ground.
I don't want to do damage.
This is not
Besides
what
that,
I
yeah.
expected when I joined you. This is a very unusual experience. Your skin is very wet.
I'll just telepathically say, your skin's really muddy. You're welcome, by the way. And I will, put you back down.
Yes, thank you. She says sullenly.
Okay. You guys make your way through the quicksand, occasionally having to pull people out. The quick earth, and you get to again
But
in the forest, and you begin to look up the hill at what looks like fairly dry mountains. Sort of,
I say we head for the high ground.
within
We can
these
see
mountains.
better.
Sorry, go.
Isn't that kind of the opposite of what our original plan was with high ground, where we just kind of wanted to stay low because we didn't want to get picked off?
Well,
Is
that,
what
Yes,
the,
but
me-
this
the
is quite
reason
what
for that
changes.
change might be the mist or the fog that seems to be covering the lower parts of the mountain ground.
If I recall correctly, Hugo is pretty good at controlling fog.
Not this again. Haven't we proved this opposite already? I'm sure we have already proved that Hugo can only control his own frog, not your frog and fog. Yes. There you go, frog. That was Hugo when he was a frog. He can also control his fog, but not your fog.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I guess high ground it is, since Hugo apparently can't control other people's fog.
I can I can destroy fog,
Frog.
but not as a frog.
Right, frog.
But I can't do it as a frog.
I'm not
That's a
familiar
good
with that
spell.
spell.
Yeah.
Destroy frog.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
It's a level
You
9,
see
actually.
a low level bit of fog sort of down near the ground, and then the mountains rising up out of it. You'll notice that the ground dries out as you move towards the mountains. One good thing about this means that you are making appropriate progress. Wow, that was a really hard sentence to say properly. So let us return to the map de papier.
The mega map. Satellite view.
Think there is my guess, but right now, stream will confirm it is blurry as shit. It will load eventually, I'm sure.
Can confirm. Oh, there we go.
Can confirm.
Oh, is it all blurry for you guys too?
No,
Oh,
just
Oh, mine's
stream.
not
Oh.
anymore.
Oh, good.
They'll get there eventually.
I swapped to stream to see how blurry it was.
Yes, it just starts like this every time. The lovely thing is that my Roll20 notes aren't blurry at all. Oh, look at that! I'm exactly where I wanted to be. The foot of the mountains. Fantastic. The fact that you're entering the foot of the mountains means that once you pass over these mountains and down the other side to where the sand dunes are, you should reach... Well, not Dernick's wife, but Dernick's wife. Yeah. Are you...
Where
She died.
Dernick's wife died.
Your next wife is dead already.
Fair
Not
enough.
our fault.
Not to be picky or anything, but this seems like the opposite way of home.
Well, we had to finish our quest first.
Yeah.
Oh, you have.
Oh, that wasn't discussed at all, was it?
Sorry,
We're kind of on a mission.
so Dernick here wants to visit the grave of his dead wife. Not grave, sorry, the site where she died. They brought her body back, and we are also...
appearance doesn't change my feelings, sorry.
Great, wonderful. Thank you for outing that, Dernick. We're also going to have Kiara paint wherever she feels like while we're on the way, and she's going to sell it for big money.
And we are also looking for a goblin.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
if we run into goblins, we gotta find a guy that maybe partially might have rebelled against goblins and then decided to disappear on us. So
You
Or
didn't
some
meet
guy
any
who eats
goblins on your
bones.
journeys?
yeah, did you find any goblins?
No goblin. Not this
Just
trip,
wolves.
anyway.
You have
God,
been out
not
here
helpful.
multiple times?
That's just the 2 times.
It's more than any of us. So
Well,
The first one was really short.
if
we
you ever
turn
run
back.
into a guy named Shank, you let us know, okay?
His name is Shank.
Yeah.
Are
Goblin.
you supposed to trust him? I wouldn't trust him.
Well, other people do, so I mean, like, why not?
So, over the hills?
Yeah.
Through the woods, grandmother's house.
No, not through the woods.
Here you go.
Just come out of those. Hugo.
What?
Didn't somebody say Hugo?
No, he said we go. He
Oh,
was
okay.
finishing the lyrics to the
Right,
song.
sorry. Yeah, I just heard Hugo. I was like, all right, fine. I'll shut up a second.
Over the river and through the woods, to grandmother's house we go.
As you begin to move on up the mountains, there is no...
James.
Yeah.
Pumpkin.
So I was just gonna say, I was just gonna recommend as we go up the hills, if we can remain tied to each other still. Just remembering
Just in
the
case.
last time that we went up on the high hills, Durden got a bag.
Oh, yes, I nearly died.
Hey,
Seems
Jordan,
quite
do
pleased
you want to
about
be? Do you want to be carried?
No,
All right.
I don't trust that Chester you friended.
I trust him way more than I should. I think.
He's just insubstantial. He doesn't say anything.
I think that's why I like him.
Some of you could learn from him. And with that, he begins trudging on up the hill. As you guys go up, there is no path. So keeping tied together, it's difficult going, slow going, and it's really dry. You get to about sort of 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're beginning to all feel a bit parched. You're drinking more of your water than usual. The air up here is a little thinner than you're used to. Even though it feels like you've not gone up the mountains much, you realize that you must have also been going uphill during your time in that forest. You're now quite a long way above sea level. and you begin to realize that those mists weren't mists at all. You are moving above the clouds.
Oh,
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 How
We're
long has
high.
it been since I wild shaped?
About 3.5 hours.
Okay, cool. I'm out of toad form.
I assume that happened as you left the forest and went up a mountain. But maybe not.
It lasts 2 hours, so I just
Okay.
wanted to double check.
Yeah, no, so it's about 3.5 hours since you guys found the quick mud.
once we stop being in the mud, Jexer is going to untie herself from the rope and kind of just be scouting ahead of the party in visual range for sure. Just like maybe 100 yards ahead or something.
Give me an athletics check.
Just kind of ensuring it's safe. What check?
Athletics, please.
Athletics.
By the way, James, did we get any XP for killing that orc?
19.
Ah.
You're supposed
We,
to be dead
we
already.
forgot to do it. We took its ear. Can we take at least that one ear?
Yes, you can have an ear. You also gained a wizard, which is kind of better than some experience.
Wow.
But it's interesting that you do remind me about XP, because you should have got 30 XP, 3-0, for passing through the forest.
Oh,
I
all
had
right.
forgotten about it.
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
How was that athletics check, Jexar?
It was a 19.
Yeah, with a 19, you're finding a footing quite easily on these hills. There's no mountains like this back from where you come from. But what there are is a lot of shifting sand dunes. And it's not all that different a technique. Walking a little side on to the slope directly. Double checking your footing before stepping onwards, that sort of thing. She's also
Jexer
quite good at
neglects
keeping
to
her
teach
balance.
this to anyone though.
No,
So
that's
she's
expected.
progressing just fine.
Mhm.
But it doesn't occur to her that everyone wouldn't naturally know how to do this.
Most of them have encountered mountains, so they'll be all right.
Okay, good.
All
right.
And some of them lived under mountains once upon a time, and others of them are being carried by air elementals.
And I can just teleport.
Yeah, when you
We've all got our ways.
Cool. So as you guys sort of make your way up these hills, you, for the first time in quite a long time, it almost shocks you. You hear the call of a bird, and what looks to be a vulture sort of swoops down across the mountains. You'd all recognize it to be a vulture. It's a little higher up, perhaps 60 or 70 feet up from where you guys are. It seems to be flying down the mountain.
Is it alone?
It is.
In fear that it might get away, I'm going to use a spell slot to cast Speak with Animals instead of ritual casting it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And I'm just gonna shout, "Hey, Mr. Vulture!"
It very slowly circles round, drifts down towards you. I was on my way to lunch.
What are you having for lunch, Mr. Vulture?
Orc. Lots of orc.
Oh. Has there been a fight nearby?
Yeah, about 37 of them dead down the hill.
Jesus. Wow. Have you seen any, not necessarily down the hill, but have you seen any around here that are alive?
Full of
Any
questions.
goblins?
What's in it for me if I give you the answers?
I will give you my feathered friend. Ooh! No. Wait.
You're awful indecisive. What's in it for me if I give you answers?
Okay, I need to ask a question about what I just saw. I will give you this soup this morning, Ken. I'm asking this out of character. Did it have meat in it?
Funnily enough, let me look at my ingredients list. I said I was going to add something in my brain. I just didn't say it. There's beef in there.
I will give him the beef out of my packed lunch.
You
stew.
want to disrupt me from getting to my lunch to offer me some lunch in exchange for answers?
You said you wanted a reward, Mr. Vulture, for answers. This is the reward.
We have raw beef. I have raw beef.
I have orc. Wait, I don't talk to you, I talk to him. But regardless, he will tell you that he's not interested in your shitty beef.
Okay. What would you
Fresh,
like?
bloody orc.
A silver bead, a ring upon my toe, a name.
A name. I could give you a name.
Mighty name.
You
Do
can
not
also
the
give
good
him
of
a
thinking
ring
of
on his
those.
tail.
Well, I'm a halfling. But I can still give it a shot.
Don't pull
He
that
probably
one on
doesn't
me.
know.
Humans
Yeah,
are
he
humans.
doesn't-
In my
yeah,
world,
yeah.
right? If I say humans, I just mean humanoids.
Yeah,
because
that's fine.
what fucking vulture's going to turn around and go, humanoids are good at that?
He knows what an orc is.
He's hungry. Orc is dinner.
Well, I'm just saying.
Hmm.
Anyways,
Be racist, vulture.
what about Deathclaw?
Yeah. You asked a question, I've forgotten what it was. What was the answer you
Have you
wanted?
seen any alive orcs or goblins
Oh,
nearby?
yeah. Loads. About 40 of them in the camp. Top of the mountain on the right.
Top of the mountain on the right.
Mostly goblins.
Perfect.
They aren't
Mostly
such a
goblins.
cold maw.
Who's Coldmaw?
Big wolf.
Big wolf.
Big as it gets, winter wolf. Amazing.
Oh.
Problem though, when he freezes the food, it isn't as nice for vultures to eat.
Oh.
Give me a nature check.
Okay. Oh, really, nature. Oh, 16.
Okay. You know of winter wolves above the wall, to the north of the wall. Back in the tamed lands, if you will, for those of you who are struggling to understand why
Yes.
being so specific. But you know that the Untamed Lands changes creatures.
Yeah,
So-
so it might not be a beast anymore.
It might not be exactly as you once imagined it, but even north of the wall, they are not beasts. They are monstrosities, I believe.
Okay, that's great for me. Well, and also it's also weird that it would be, commanding goblins. That's also weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great information,
It's a
Deathclaw. Thank
monstrosity.
you. Thank you so much. Please have your just desserts.
You offering me your eye?
No. The orcs down the road.
Life's full of disappointments.
I'm sorry, but you do have a name now, Deathclaw. It
As do you,
technically
short legs!
sends-
And with
sends
that, he
shivers.
flies off.
Goodness. Yes, I will. I will tell everyone what he said. Just really quick. So when I was looking through my bag, I for some reason have renamed something called Squirrel Called 6. Oh, the one I picked up in the forest. That's in my pocket. Oh, thank God I didn't feed that to the vulture.
The lost
Um,
squirrel.
You know what?
Almost
everyone's
sold
got
the
pets.
squirrel to the wolves.
I was just confused because I put a bottle of random liquid in my bag and nicknamed it Squirrel Cold 6. I was like, what is this bottle of liquid that I've renamed? But since I've got Speak with Animals open, I will take him out of my pocket. Are you doing okay? Oh, he's been breathing.
He sort of takes a gasping breath and fresh air. We're out the forest.
We
The nasty,
are.
nasty,
We're-
nasty, mean forest dark magics. We escaped. Wonderful. Bye. And with that, he
no,
tries to
we're on a
leap out your
cliff.
hands.
No,
he
I
tries
will
to
try
leap
and
out your
catch
hands.
it.
Okay. We sort of. Now you mention it. Not many trees around here. Why are there no trees?
No, wait
Um,
until we're back on, an open
Interesting
land.
ride. Interesting ride. You got any meat?
Yes, I actually have some.
He just
beef.
stays perfectly paused with his mouth wide open, just waiting.
I will feed him the beef.
Serviceable. Who's the new girl?
Oh, this is Morgan. She's joined us now. She's a wizard.
Spells funny.
Wizardess. Well, new people, I have a question for the DM. What did the squirrel experience whilst I was wild shaped?
The same backpack. The squirrel did not notice anything.
Okay, great. He wasn't
I
like
will-
dying in the belly or anything. Like, let me out. Okay,
I'll
great.
lean over to Belgrin. Does he usually just pull creatures out of his pockets?
Wait till he
Seems
gets a
to
bag
be
of
a-
tricks.
Yeah, did I overhear this? Because I certainly have a comment on that.
Belgian?
I was just saying it seems to be a recent talent he seemed to pick up in here.
Interesting.
Not quite
Hugo,
recent.
the squirrel just says, visiting her, and then leaps from your hands and is going to land on Morgan's shoulder.
Oh,
Sorry.
oh, hi. Hi. What's
He-
it
he
doing?
He
just-
starts
he
snuffing,
just-
and then like he buries his head in your hair.
I
And
think
then,
he just wants to familiarize himself with your scent.
and then comes away with something in his teeth. Leaps back
What-
to Hugo.
What have you taken?
And it is a single orc's ear.
Give
Told you
that-
she smelled
How
funny.
did that get in there?
Oh, okay. I will take that, and I will hand it to. I'm assuming Kimball's keeping all
It
of
is
the.
assumed.
Yeah,
I do
I
have
will
a
give it
note
to
tab with
Kimball.
ears written down.
Silly squirrel, and I'll like very gently like pet his head with my finger.
He's trying to spit the
Sarah.
orc bit out of his mouth.
Jexar, I think I'll take you up on that sweat thing tonight.
Very well. What is the holdup? Why is everyone stopped?
I'll put the
Well,
squirrel back in my pocket.
Nope! And then as he goes away, you just say,
Hugo
"Can
was
I ride on your
talking
shoulder?"
to
Oh yeah, sure. I will take it back up.
It's really
First
smelly
class.
in your bag. And with
Okay,
that,
but
we
no
will take
jumping.
Should have looked one side, looked the other. No promises. We'll take a short break. Hello, and welcome back to the second half of Mercenary Tales. I left you guys in a mountain, and the mountain is where you are. At the top of the mountain, you are told by a vulture, now named Deathclaw, there is a large group of goblins, a few orcs, all led by a winter wolf. Down the hill are 37 orcs. What are you doing? Dead orcs.
Dead orcs.
Did you
Otherwise
say
known
how
as
many
dwarves.
orcs were at the top of the mountain, by chance? Or did you just say, like, a lot?
Large number.
They're like
Large
50,
number.
60.
More than one. Less than 30.
So when we get to the top of the mountain, we turn left. If there
I
is a
figured you
choice.
guys weren't actually going up the mountain. You were going along the way that you're actually trying to get.
Yeah.
I would assume so, yes.
I'm gonna be watching the top of the mountain and
Sorry,
people
guys,
above us.
can you hear any music?
No.
No.
Okay, so it's broken for everybody, not just me. Sorry, carry on.
I will say, would we want to use this, I guess not mist, but really clouds to our advantage to sort of hide from any scouts that may be above us?
Give me a survival check, Kimball.
Oh, yeah, I can do that. Let's see. Maybe I can't do that.
Did you say I'm old? In the middle
I
of
got
that
a
sentence?
6.
That's 6. That's good. Yeah, you could use the clouds as
Pretty,
cover.
Sounds like a great idea.
Why not?
I mean, checks out, right?
I mean, they're right there.
I mean, all of those of you with survival knowledge would know that you can indeed use clouds as cover, right? They are white and you could hide in them.
It might make it a little hard to travel. With the small possibility of falling off a mountain.
Oh,
I wasn't
Yeah.
even giving you a survival check for that, but yeah, that too.
Durnik has already fallen off a mountain, so we probably do not want to repeat that experience.
and know where
So
we go.
cool, I didn't know.
Why do we keep bringing that up?
It was
Let's,
a long
what, do the orcs have ears? Did you ask him that? We need ears.
I mean,
No,
most
I
orcs
did-
have ears.
I did not ask Deathclaw if they had ears.
We gotta take their ears.
He said there were goblins as well. Weren't you looking for
Two
that?
complete different directions, but yes.
Kinda. We're looking for one goblin.
You all are suggesting that we walk toward the large encampment of goblins and orcs?
Just a
Well, they
reminder.
said the orcs were dead.
One?
It's just goblins and a
Okay.
wolf.
Orcs are dead.
No, guys, there's a lot of confusion going on here. Okay, at the bottom of the hill are 37 orcs. You know about these 37 orcs because Morgan's crew killed them, right? You
Yep.
would be backtracking hugely if you went all the way back down to get the ears. You didn't do it earlier, you're probably not going to do it now. At the top
Get
of
on
the
the way
hill,
back.
at the top of the hill are goblins, orcs, and a single winter wolf who is in control.
I'm not going up.
I don't think we should fuck with those guys.
We can get the ones from. Sorry, God rest the soul of your companions. We get the ears off the orcs on the way back.
Just a reminder as well, Shank was in that direction, like a good 100 miles east of your.
What's that?
current
We are
What's-
looking at a mountain now.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, Shank was over here.
He may have travelled 85 and a half miles to the northeast, but I wouldn't go knocking on every camp's door, every goblin encampment's door, and going, anyone seen your traitor Shank? Because if they have found Shank and they do know he's a traitor, they will have killed him, and if they haven't found Shank, then you're going to be fighting another
No,
goblin.
they'll kill us.
Well, we could
Actually, they'll kill us anyway, probably.
at the very least scout it out to see how large the encampment is.
I'm always down for.
Whatever happened to that owl? You could use that.
Oh man, wouldn't it be great to have our old
Fuck you, Finn.
owl friend?
This one brought a shitty cat.
Do you really blame him
We're all happy.
for leaving?
No,
Yeah, I kind of also magically lost the ability to scout thousands of meters ahead as well, so that's kind of unfortunate as well.
He did leave you kind of high and dry, don't you think? Kiara says to Hugo. Please wait until you
I'm
guys
not
got
saying,
back.
I'm not saying that I'm happy that he did. I wish he was still here, but I understand why he did.
I mean, the way I see it, and call me cutthroat, but sure he left his shit, but he also took one of our only methods of escape and used it entirely on himself and basically left us for dead. So,
Like I said, when we get back home, we can chastise him for the actions in which he did. Let's not dwell on it too much.
but if
The
you
worst
want,
part for me, I hate to agree with Kimball on anything, but
hey, come on.
He took the scroll from Kiara, who is
Yeah, more than
an
anything, he took.
innocent, helpless innocent.
We tell him he's a bad boy when we get home. Okay.
I will tell him he is very bad. She hefts her spear and then turns and keeps walking down the trail.
A little while down the road, Morgan, Kiara is going to walk alongside you. Just very quietly. I paint. Do you want a memento or anything of your friends?
To be honest, I mean, Callan was just kind of a jerk, and twins didn't really care about anybody else.
Sibling
We
son.
fought together.
I was going to say, you didn't
weren't
seem
close.
too torn up.
Maybe we would have been closer. Sort of happenstance, and it didn't really mesh.
Well, and then she says very quietly, she sort of leans into you. These guys are probably going to get killed, but they do love each other quite a lot. It's a good bit of companionship. They don't.
Maybe that's why they're still alive.
Oh, I don't
That
buy
is
into
true.
the.
Jax makes a lot of eye contact.
I don't buy into the whole power of friendship thing. They're alive because they're lucky. Don't doubt it.
As somebody whose escape plan was just stolen, you might want to start believing.
Nope. Hoping, yes. Believing, not in the slightest. Hugo's pretty cool though. He turns into animals and lets me ride on his back, so maybe we'll get out. Oh,
Have faith.
okay.
At least, maybe if they die, you'll find another group. Apparently, that's not so hard out here.
Maybe. We did see some very competent dwarves. On their way back from hunting. Taking out a whole orc encampment. Good horses. I like horses.
I like horses too. Kinda wish I had some now.
I
Or
don't know
giant
about it.
goats.
Horse on mountain. Yeah, giant goat is a lot better. Hugo!
Yeah.
Can you turn into a giant goat?
I will wild shape into a regular goat.
Just no answer,
And-
just bang,
And,
goat.
and I will telepathically say to her, "This is as far as goat form goes at the moment."
She just looks at you and looks straight at Morgan and says, I can't write that!
Well, I kind of look her up and down. How tall is she?
She's 6 foot tall. Or, well, on Tinder, as Kenton would say. She's a tall elf, and that is a very small goat.
Yeah.
I could try. Probably wouldn't make it very far.
Yeah. Then she sort of swings the halberd she's got from the thing. We rode Hugo was a really big spider once, and I hit a goblin who was casting a spell with this. Well, actually, I hit him with my painter supplies, and then I got this. But it sounds cooler if I say I did it with this.
Oh.
I painted it, and she
I think
will...
hitting him with painter's tools is actually more interesting.
Oh, you think so? That's nice of you to say. I painted it. And she will show you that she painted the scene of her on a spider. I think Josh has the painting somewhere. Bring it out in Mercenary Tales.
I mean, there were. I don't know. I think it's in our chat somewhere.
It's in
It
our
wasn't
chat?
the great.
It
I
wasn't
think
great.
so.
I remember that much, but I don't know what it was.
Well, it was a bit tricky with AI art, to be honest.
Here we go, look.
I think I got close
in
enough.
This, she's got a broom in this picture.
Yeah, that's a giant paintbrush.
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
That's just a
Oh.
giant paintbrush. I mean, that's not really what my spider looks like, but it was close enough.
His spider looked like this.
I was busy fawning over the dwarf. Or the dwarf goat, that is.
What's her name? Anybody? Kiara on spider. Here we go. I will put it in.
Yeah, that's my spider. My big one,
I
at least.
preferred the goat.
Yeah.
And that's,
Understandable.
Yeah, that is the great painting of the one goblin that she took out.
Gonna
with
sell for
the
millions,
supplies.
guys.
But anyway, she sort of shows you it and then puts it away. So, the people you were traveling with, did you fight anything? I mean, you had an encounter with orcs. You must have fought some scary creatures as you made your way through the lands.
Yeah, we ran into giant first time.
Giants? Hey guys, she fought a giant!
Dang.
Well,
You must be very powerful.
mostly Callan fought things, and I mean, thankfully he managed to get away most of the time, but he was just sort of in there over a bit of a. I'm not trying to speak ill of the dead. He was a bit of a hothead.
But
We
you were
fought a
there.
lich.
That's true.
A lich?
It's what killed them.
She leans very close to you,
Why?
and she says, I think they're talking him up a bit.
Okay. Alrighty.
That's us.
Alright.
She said
shade
it
on the
very quietly to just Morgan.
Fighting
I
a lich?
don't
It's a
know.
wonder all of you didn't die.
Yeah, brotherly love really goes a long way.
You died earlier in there.
Yeah, but like when the Lich, you and I both were alive at the end. He also picked us to be the last two to die, so I mean, I guess it kind of fits as well. But like,
You know, I didn't think about it, but he never chose a spot for me to die, and I kind of feel shitty about that.
you
He
kind of
just,
picked it yourself, Humble. You kind of went like, I'll go third.
To be fair, he picked the first and the last. That was it, right?
I was feeling
So you
left
just
out.
sort of just sounds like. Go on.
Wizards usually choose an area to specialize in, right? What kind of magic do you use?
Evocation. Mostly. I mean, I do use the other things, but I'm very good at being precise with my attacks.
What's excavation? Danik asks.
I agree.
Evocation. Sir?
Yeah, that!
Isn't that how high up you are?
He's like excavation.
Basically, most spells would be classed into... There's a lot of different things, but this would be more if you're attacking something, especially with,
Oh, I'm bored now.
say...
I would like to know.
You can carry on, but Danik stops listening.
Mostly offensive spells. Fire, thunder, just...
Well, we'll
I'm
need
sorry, I feel
those
like I'm
against
boring you
the
all.
enemies. No, it's good to know what you're capable of.
He can turn
Just
into big
know
things.
that- Just know that if I attack you with something, it probably won't hurt.
Oh, probably.
I trust you.
I like a probability. I like to put myself like right in front of people, so please, as best as you can, don't make it hurt.
And Kensington is true. He is always in front of people, but only for a very short amount of time before he is on ground.
If you want to stand behind someone, stand behind Belgrin.
I agree. Belgrin is
Protect.
probably the safest place to stand.
All right, I'll have you know, Belgrin and I about even, in my opinion.
I think Belgrin's definitely sturdier.
It's more a case of the fact that she's pointing out that Belgrin protects other people. You just hit people with a big sword.
I
He's
also
also
attack.
Belgrim is also a great place for a hug.
What does that mean, brother?
I think he's pretty self-explanatory.
I thought I gave good hugs.
I didn't say you gave bad ones.
Just a quick DM question. Did you want to scout at the top of the mountain?
I would
How-
like to.
Do
Personally.
you have any way of doing that?
Well,
Said the
I
sheep.
mean, I mean, I can obviously wild shape into like little things. I could. I mean, the goat. I don't know if they'd attack a goat. It's the medium
Well,
thing.
You're pretty
I
certain they'd
think
try
they
and
would
eat
want
you.
to eat you.
They would.
They would.
Goat meat is a thing.
Also,
Yeah, I mean,
a goat will not get to the top of that mountain in 2 hours.
No, I was thinking that I would get pretty close and then wild shape into something.
So you'd make the whole party go up that mountain too.
Well, I don't mind going by myself.
Okay, so
Would
if you
you
go
all
up the
get-
mountain, it'll
We'll
take
be
you 5 or
separated
6
for a long
hours to get close enough to the camp to then wild shape to go in.
I mean, is it
And
even
by that
worth
time, it
Should we
will
just
be
keep
night.
going?
Listen, you
Don't
never
have
hear
anything
me
else to
say I
do.
miss Oliver, but I might miss Oliver a little bit.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want you to join the rest of the group in death.
Oh yeah, everyone. Well, aside from you, Morgan, that we know of, and you, Hugo, has died. Isn't that something?
Don't remember that, Fenix says.
All right, darling.
But I did hit my head pretty hard. Might have forgot.
Ego death.
So, group, are we going up the mountain towards the goblin camp to then go scout it, or are we going past it towards the grave of Dernick's wife?
I vote. Past.
The grave.
Past.
Any other opinions? I got 2 there. I got Oscar and Nathan. Anyone else?
Going past.
I'm in agreement here.
What a bunch
Sorry.
of cowards.
Voted
I really
down.
don't think.
Dernick
didn't
looks
wanna
to
go
you,
attack the
Hugo.
Goblin.
Hugo, Dernick looks to you and seems they vote now. And at that point,
I know, right?
as you guys continue onwards, You do dip into the cloud a little bit a couple of times, and when you do, Kibble, you'll be astounded to know you get soaking wet. And it is quite cold up here. Does
I
anybody
use it
have...
to wash my hair of the orc blood.
Yeah, why not? Does anybody have cold weather clothing?
No.
Sarah looks looks disgusted, and as we get into the fog, and she's like, "Is there nowhere that is not covered with water at all times? It rains from the sky, puddles of mud everywhere on the ground, and now the water is all around me. And this is not like bathing. This is cold. This is awful. Why would you live here?"
If I'm cold, I'm going to pull my sword out to warm me.
It does not do that. I believe it specifically states that the flames cannot burn you. Does anybody have cold weather clothing?
No.
No.
Great. Con saves, a lot of you.
I have a question before I roll a con save.
I have a question as well.
I do too.
Hey, why not?
Well, James, it says it
Okay.
doesn't hurt me. It doesn't say it doesn't warm me.
Shh. Kimball, go.
If I stand in the center of the air elemental, does it dry me off like a drying machine?
No,
Sure.
it'll just make it colder.
Sure, it'll do that, but it will be very cold still, so still make the con save.
Okay. fair
Jax,
enough.
you do make yours with advantage. Does that answer the question?
But I am also carrying the warm, furry body of an owlbear cub that I can.
You're
kinda try to
carrying the owlbear cub?
Yeah, aren't I?
Fucking
You
I
damn.
might
like
be a
have
bit
it.
heavy.
It's the size of like a Great Dane.
I think you should throw it over the cliff.
Oh!
Yeah, they're big. I mean, owlbear cubs are like
Alright.
3.5, 4 foot.
I will roll. It's a
Welcome
con.
to the 18 club.
Mhm. Con save against the cold.
11.
Is this against being frightened?
No.
Alright.
Against
Not
cold.
cold.
Some people might be afraid of the cold.
That will be 2
I'm
separate
not, but you
rolls.
don't know.
One against being cold and one against being frightened.
I
Um,
built a
just
character around
checking.
that once.
You did. She went to school with you. Belgren, you got a... Ooh, lovely. I love
Yeah.
that. Kensidon, Belgren, Jex. Kensidon, Belgren, and Jex. It is
Yeah.
very, very cold up here. You begin to feel like sort of your muscles are almost like cracking, like getting very stiff. Certainly if you're wearing any armor, especially you, Belgren. It feels very
I
cold.
also
to the
wear
touch.
heavy armor.
What kind of armor are you wearing though?
Chainmail.
Oh, you are? You're
Yeah.
both wearing chain.
Yeah.
Yep, chainmail.
Yeah, okay. Right, I hadn't realized that, sorry. So yeah, both of you, to the touch, your armor is freezing cold. I think it's fair to say that sort of, Jex, you're not used to these cold temperatures at all. Anyway, so the
No.
three of you,
He looks miserable.
you have disadvantage on a whole host of things, but basically, it's on all dex checks, including initiative, and all dex saves.
Yikes.
Okay.
And as you're going up, you feel like sort of the sun's already. Just, you want to say something?
I started talking to realize that I was on mute.
Hmm.
I was just gonna say, since Ken rolled a nat one, assumably like he's like shivering the most. So
I'm cold.
So the cantrip produce flame. Assumably it produces heat. It doesn't say that it does, but considering it does deal
Can you set fire to things? Produce. Just ping it to chat.
Sure.
It does fire damage.
Yeah.
I think you can.
It's a real flame.
All right.
Yeah,
it's a-
so then I'll start walking beside Ken, and I'll conjure this. I mean, it's not a large flame, but it's a flame nonetheless. In both my hands, and I will just like as we're walking, hold it up next to him.
Yeah, Kensidon, there is a brief sort of, you can feel the heat's there, but the wind, the icy winds and the cold, and your armor itself being so cold, it's almost non-existent. Nice thought. And as you guys
do
progress,
appreciate
the sun begins to set quite rapidly up in these mountains.
Jaxera is still scouting ahead. She looks miserable and she is like shivering, like holding herself, but she doesn't like say anything or complain. She just keeps doing her thing. She's like puffing it out up there. Are we going to camp here in this old fog?
We might
Or
have no choice if it gets too
I
dark.
can't think of better of ideas.
You can see a path that makes its way back down towards the valley through the clouds. If you wanted to try and get back to the lower ground.
Is it straight or back?
No, it's still forwards. It's just you know separate paths. One goes along the edge of the mountain, and one goes down between the mountains. Obviously, it does mean that if a mountain obstructs your path later on, you'll have to go back up again. But
We could double
happen
up
even on this
in.
up path.
We could double up in tents to just conserve warmth.
Not a horrible idea.
Very well.
But you're going to camp up
and-
here, or are you going to head down?
To not lose any time.
How much
We
time
can
do we
stay up.
have before sunset? Do we estimate?
About a minute. The
Okay.
sun sort
Then,
of literally
yeah,
like
we're gonna
it was there, and then like, but it's only like 7 o'clock in the evening. It was there, and then suddenly it was on the edge of the horizon, and you can actually watch it moving down. Like it's set so fast up here.
If we light a fire, it will be visible from very many places from up so high.
Maybe we can find a
But
sheltered
we may
space.
need it.
I can go look around for a nearby cove or a cave.
I think
Me
we should
too.
do a quick scout and see if we can find something with a little more shelter from the wind and prying eyes.
I just
So,
don't want to go down.
I'll go with Kimball then, and we'll do a quick like reconnoiter around the zone and see if we can like fairly readily find before it gets like dark any kind of like shelter or like an overhang or a cave ideally, but
Yeah, I mean you can find some like there's some thick dense grass which is quite high. It's sort of 3 or 4 foot that you guys could camp within that at least might hide some of your passage. But it's fairly open on these hills. There's trees. You could sort of put the camp between a few trees, but there's no sort of like ways into the mountain. The ground's quite flat. When I say flat, I mean like it's still on a gradient, right? But it's, I mean, there's no cave here, right? See what I mean? Like
Okay.
it doesn't. Yeah. You'd have to go right the way up to like where the mountain gets a bit more sheer, which would be like 3 or 4 hours of journey.
well, we'll return empty-handed. We'll tell them about the grass or the trees.
Those are the
I
options.
do not know which is better. The grass might provide shelter from the wind, perhaps, but neither one is ideal.
Things better than what we have. We might as well just stay here, no? Double up on tents. I know
We'll do
that. Hey, if you can produce steam, Jaxera, you might have a warm tent.
No, if we're up in these mountains like that, seems like a good idea, but if we keep ourselves warm but wet, that'll eventually turn sour, especially in the cold dead of night. We might freeze.
Just stay warm. Double up. I'll stay with Hugo.
Yeah, as
All
you
right, Gilbert.
make this suggestion, the sun. I know in the picture the sun has risen and then it's going to go back down again. But
Setting. Aesthetic.
yeah, it would have been. It had set in the previous picture, so I brought it back up a little bit for this one. But as the sun begins to set, you'll note the clouds sort of go denser on the ground beneath you. And despite the cold, it becomes once you start building up a fire. Dernick is all over the fire. He's like. He's being the typical dwarf right now. He's like putting little rocks around, like building up this big fire, and he's moving bits of like different faggots of wood with his hands. He's very excited about it all. But as you find yourself sort of sat around the campfire, obviously it's still quite early. It's only like 8 o'clock at night. There's an air of companionship and a fairly stark beauty to the Untamed Lands. So, sort of time and place.
Jaxera's gonna set up her odd little dome tent, with the waterproof side out as usual.
Constantine's gonna get served on dinner.
Yeah, what's about?
Dinner tonight will consist of the the beef I tried to offer to that vulture, some lettuce, some tomato, a little bit of cheese, and pepper, salt, thyme, parsley. We're just gonna make
a good list of
little
ingredients.
little sandwiches. we're making little sandwiches, beef
Ooh.
sandwiches, almost like a for you British people, a Italian beef sandwich.
Yeah, I know what that is.
It's just regular beef was fine.
I mean, Miller's from New York. He likes that stuff.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like it.
But yeah, as you sort of sit around, Kiara will begin painting on an easel a little way away. You can see she's a little cold.
Again.
It makes no difference at this point in time, I will say. Actually, 21's a good number. I'll let you all, as you eat, as you bite into this sort of very homely sandwich, and it reminds you of home. If you have a level of exhaustion, you may remove one. 3 long rest.
Hey.
You'll need to
Stop
deal your
moving.
card to the table, and I will dispose of it.
I'd like to, now that we're in this like open fieldy area, I'd like to begin ritual casting Speak with Animals.
Jax and Bumpkin, if you want to be
There
allowed
we go. Network.
to. Same with
It won't get rid of it, James. So I'll let you.
I can't do
Okay.
anything with it. You need to deal it.
You
to the
click
table.
on it first.
You just
Oh, I need.
drag the black card to the table.
I did twice, and it showed up, and then I let it go.
Just let it show up and then
Oh.
leave it wherever it is, and
It was
I'll
at
get
the
rid
bottom.
of
I
it.
couldn't see it.
Oh, okay.
So, as we're like sitting around the fire, when Morgan is sitting alone at any time, Jaxera is gonna kind of just sit adjacent to her, not really looking at her, just kind of looking into the fire, and she will say, "I want you to know that I will do my best to try to keep you alive, but you are new to me, and know that I will be watching you until you have proven yourself."
That is a very wise and understandable take.
Can anybody hear this, or is this just their private conversation?
We're by the fire. I don't know. It's not like secret.
Jex is very protective. I like to lean more towards the trust until you break it type of mentality. So stay behind me. Stay behind
Let's
Jex.
I would
behind
stay
Belgrin.
behind Belgrin.
I said it. Don't need to trust
Kiara
him.
looks over and stay behind everyone, then carries on painting.
Except behind me. Don't do
Yeah,
that.
do not stand behind Kimball. He seems to attract danger wherever he goes.
It's a
So do
bad
I,
idea.
to be fair. But don't stand behind Hugo either. Hugo just can stand wherever he wants, kind of, and exist.
As you look over to
it's just-
Hugo, what does your ritual casting Speak with Animals look like?
Oh yeah, I've never done it like this before. So he's kind of like he's sat on the grass, like cross-legged, and he kind of looks like he's meditating, but around him is this kind of like moss green like smoke that's like very slowly like circling him and very ever so slightly moving like up and down as it circles around him. And then as the ritual ends, the smoke begins to then like come together and like go in his mouth.
One thing worth mentioning, at the moment, Six, the squirrel, is curled up as close to the fire as possible without setting himself on fire. Yeah. What are you doing with your Speak with Animals?
Yeah, so after that's done, I will head on over to Six. And
Just
sit
sitting
down
right
next
by
to
the fire.
him.
So you're now sitting next to Morgan, who is next to
Yes.
Jax. Yep, sort of in the circle of rocks, if you will.
Yeah. you know, Six, now we're out of the mountain area. You're free to go wherever you want to go.
Right, right. Just leave me above the clouds. Not cold up here at all, honest.
Well, you've got nice fur. Does that not keep you warm?
Also has a nice pocket.
Six sort of gestures towards the wrappings that Jexera is sat in. Like, she's got lots of fur. She's freezing.
We don't call it fur, but I understand.
No, they're
Would
furs.
you?
I don't know what creatures they're from, but they're furs. They are furs, right?
Sure.
Jexera wears like a fur hood thing, right?
It's not
Or
fur.
animal
It's
skin?
just cloth. Yeah, it's
Okay.
like it's cloth. It's like woven cloth.
Oh, okay. But yeah, the squirrel can't cover it.
That's fine. Well, you can stay with us until we get somewhere a bit warmer.
Take me somewhere nice. But does the cat have to come?
The cat is very well behaved. I'm sure that
That's what they will say.
it won't.
Trust
me,
until the
I
owner
have.
stops looking.
I like
I
this
think
one.
I have it under good authority that it won't do anything without its masters say so.
That's a lot of words. Don't trust a cat.
Well, then just stick close to me then.
Make your bag smell nice then.
How would you like it to be nicer?
Just make it smell nice. I don't know. It smells horrible right now. It's like wet clothes, old clothes,
What kind
dirty
of smells
clothes.
do you like?
Tree bark, berries, sunshine, deep loam, and earth.
Bottle that scent of
Yeah, why don't you? I like the summer. I like the summer a lot. Summer's nice. Summer smells good. Honeysuckle. Like honeysuckle.
Okay. I will use 5 charges of my staff of flowers to create 5 let's say daisies. The staff says that they have a mild scent, which is why I got 5. And
I like this. The squirrel's like, make me honeysuckles. You're like, you're having daisies.
He says nature and sunshine and
Eat your vegetables.
That's true.
but I will separate the stems from the petals and the whatever the middle part's called. And I'll sprinkle those in my bag to make it smell better.
Okay. The squirrel sort of dives into the bag, and then comes up holding what looks like a piece of rock and sort of throws it on the ground. That's the problem. But the daisies will help.
Oh, is it the fossilized unicorn?
Oh yes, yes it is. It is the fossilized unicorn. Maybe you could put that in a pocket instead.
Yeah, I'll put that in a pouch or something.
Okay.
That's fine.
And then Kimball, Six the squirrel
Okay.
is going to come over to you. Comes dashing over to you, and starts
just
nuzzling
tinkering.
in and around your pockets.
I'll open my big old coat pocket.
Okay. You can sense he's looking for something, but you're not sure exactly what.
Can I... Oh, what, Hugo, what's this guy want?
He has an affinity for smells. Perhaps he smells something either very nice or very off.
I've got a lot of things like that.
I think it might be the ears he's smelling, because he smelt one around Morgan's neck.
We want good smells. Like, what are squirrels like?
The squirrel eventually surfaces with a lavender sprig in its mouth,
Oh,
and sort of
great.
shouts over to Hugo, taking this, and then lobs it in your bag, and then rushes over to
Fine.
Kensidon, and then comes out with a sprig of parsley, puts that in the bag. Go on,
As
Morgan.
I'm watching the squirrel do this, and I saw the unicorn poop come out, I'm just gonna press a digitation to clean the bag. Because
As soon as you do that, the scroll leaps up to you, Morgan, and if you will allow it, will run along your arm and basically sit on your wrist. And just Hugo will say, "Make her do it again! Make her do it again! It was good. It was good. Clean, smells nice."
I think he wants you to magically clean him if you can.
He is not
I
an
mean, I
object.
can. I can.
It-
He just wants her to do it again, whatever that means.
Oh, okay, never mind. Or just anything really. I think he just likes the effect.
Okay. I clean the bag again.
Okay, and then sort of the squirrel does a very dramatic and then goes into the bag and like drags out Hugo's spare shirt and then puts it on your lap.
I'm gonna be here all night, aren't I?
I'm
You
sorry.
can-
He
you
has
can
a
think
very
of it last a few
sensitive
minutes.
nose.
He's making his den out of your bag, and we'll go back, sort of fill it back up with nice things. And now with the parsley and the daisies, and the lavender sprig, he is a very happy squirrel. And then he just sort of delves in there, and you see him chewing on something, and you note that you've just lost a ration. So he's just like, just good. I could do this. I could do this. This is nice.
You know,
Yes.
I won't be able to speak to you all the time.
Good.
So if you do need me for anything, just, get my attention.
And then he sort of runs up your shoulder and puts his tail in your ear. And does that work?
That works perfect.
And he jumps off and does like a dive bomb into. And as he's going, he's like, "Sexy's bedroom!" And then leaps into your bag, pulls a nice clean top over the top.
Yeah.
And then every one of you just sees the squirrel climb up a little bit, grab the bag like lid with his teeth, and pull it shut. You can assume the squirrel's gone to bed.
Wonderful.
Hugo, can I have one of these strange plants that you made?
You mean the flower?
Yes.
Any specific kind of flower?
Just one of the ones that you made already.
Sure. I will point my flower to the ground, and out of the grass will grow a daisy. And I will
Amazing.
pick it and hand it to Jax.
Jixera pulls out a weatherproof satchel, and she pulls out a what looks like a sketchbook and some calligraphy supplies, and flips open the sketchbook. And as she's flipping, she's already got an extremely realistic lavender sprig. It looks just like the one you just saw drawn in there. And she flips to the next blank page, and she begins sketching the daisy in like really exquisite detail, really taking her time.
You're very talented.
These talents are not useful, but they bring me peace sometimes.
Why are they not useful?
They do not slay enemies or protect companions. They do not teach new spear techniques or how to defend against charging goblins.
Neither does the rain. Is that useless?
Yes, the rain is utterly useless. It's the worst. It
Is
comes
the
from the
sun-
sky. It never stops. It like it was 3 days. Like
the sun-
once she gets started on the rain, like she starts going
My
off.
goodness. Is the sun useless?
The sun is something to be careful of, something dangerous, but it's better than the rain. The rain is everything is just always. The fog was bad. It was bad, but the rain, days and days. I'm not sure I could survive in the wetlands for long.
Felix will look over.
Okay.
But I was a little dwarfling. I learned from books with drawings. I liked the drawings. That's all he says. Carries on, sitting as he was.
Great.
Well, perhaps
Um,
you will learn from my drawing. Someone will learn from my drawing someday. Maybe I will take them back to my homeland and tell of the various strange plants that grow here.
And it would be useful.
So it will be useful.
Maybe. She doesn't look convinced.
You know, not everything needs to be able to kill or protect.
For me, everything needs to be able to do these things. I need to be able to do these things at all times.
No one's able to do that. That's impossible.
That is why I need more training. Until I can do these things perfectly all the time, every time, then I am not worthy.
Have you met anyone who could do this?
Well, supposedly the sisters could do it. Though I never actually got to train with them specifically, but that was my destiny until things went bad.
What things?
I don't want to talk about it. It's very bad.
Okay. Did these sisters sleep?
Well, of course, but there are many sisters. They're always on watch.
Well,
Always
what if-
vigilant.
What if they were out by themselves, adventuring?
Sisters do not travel alone. The sisterhood is a group. The sisters travel together. They protect together. That is their whole existence. That is why it was such an honor for me to be chosen and taken from my family. Be a sister is a great honor for someone come and born in my homeland.
But if that's not a possibility anymore, why don't you find a new goal?
She sits and thinks for a second. Even her sketching pauses mid-stroke for a second before it continues. Someday perhaps I will earn the right to return and take my place, but my failure is too great. I need to make something truly beyond my current ability, to be sure. I do not know what it is I need to do, but I will know when I do it.
It sounds like you're setting yourself up for failure.
If I fail, then I die, and I get what I deserve.
You don't deserve to die.
She looks up from her sketch and looks at Hugo dead serious right in the eyes, and she says, some things are unforgivable, and some people do deserve death. As much as that orc that attacked Morgan here, he deserved death. There's no getting around it.
He's evil, though. You're not, are you?
I try not to be. But only time will tell, I suppose, for all of us.
Well, then you don't deserve death.
That would be freedom of sorts.
Who do you worship?
Back home, it's different than here. You have many fantastical beings and gods and deities and all nature spirits, and back home everyone worships the magi, those that can summon great powers. They are the chosen ones, and they are the avatars of the gods here before they pass on and ascend.
So what happens when you die?
To me? Oh, I mean, I just die. I am
No,
not.
I mean,
I am not
like,
the chosen one.
After that.
Oh, the chosen ones, they ascend. They become part of the. She gestures up at the constellations of stars.
Mm-hmm.
They get to join the ancestors, and their power is joined to Eira and Fala, and they keep everything going.
But what about you? What about you die? What happens then? Where do you go?
Hopefully, I die honorably in combat, providing protection. The sisters, the maidens of the spear, they are chosen to protect the chosen ones. We are their, you would call them a guard of body, and we simply keep them safe from anything that might threaten them. Or we're supposed to, anyway.
Okay, but if you died an honorable death, where does your soul go?
Soul?
Yeah, your spirit.
She looks down at herself. I do not control any spirits.
No, your own spirit.
I don't. The common people do not have spirits. This is a mistake on your part. Yes.
Jax,
Everyone.
what constellation do you worship?
There are many constellations. Each of them represents a different aspect. There are two. I suppose you might call them gods. Bala and Eira, fire and water, the two that create life, that protect life. That is why my way of bathing is so much superior to yours, because yours involves water, but without the fire to balance it out and make the steam. Steam is where the fire and the water can be as one in the same place, and you are in the presence of both Fala and Eira at the same time. It is a self-cleansing, a blessing.
I worship Aquila, so.
Aquila?
No, yeah. I just didn't know that you.
I'm not familiar with this one. Aquila, what kind of god is Aquila?
Aquila watches those that will watch over those that are lost to them. Messenger upon the winds. The constellation of the Eye. She watches over those who are lost. When I had my, I guess, mental kind of, struggle within myself that caused my alternative version of myself to form, I came to worship the evil. Watches over the lost, what I could have been. That which was lost.
Have you never tried to find your Earth family?
I'm happy. Why would I? I love my brother. I love my family. I think it caused too much pain. It's more about what I could have been. What the difference would have been. Not me wanting it, but more me wondering.
Sure, they were lovely halflings.
I'm a half. I'm a wood elf. I know that.
Oh,
You can tell I'm about 3 feet taller than my brother. I think I figured that out a while ago. What did you hear?
nothing.
Oh, I'm sure Hugo likes to pull some pranks. I know what I am.
Gimple will pass the flask to Jexera and say, listen, you said before you made a mistake. Some people you think don't deserve to ascend or have made a mistake they could never come back from. But you also said that the sisters you admire surround themselves with others like themselves, and that they sleep, they eat, they bathe. I don't know what your thought on all of it is, but it kind of sounds like you're doing the same thing. Just like they do. I mean, we may not be sisters, but we're friends, and we're with you. You sleep, you bathe, you eat, but we all look behind each other's backs and make sure no one comes out dead permanently. So, you may be one step closer to whatever you're trying than you think.
As Kimball is talking to her, she's still sketching, but you notice that she gets stuck in one spot as she's listening, and it's like gets really, really dark charcoal over that section. She gets like a hint of a smile, just a hint. Makes her for that moment just seem far less stern and serious than she usually does. She finally looks up from her paper at Kimball and she's like, "Your words have some truth to them, I admit. I am not someone who thinks about these things, if I can help it, but I will consider your words. And I will consider you..." She like struggles to like get the word out, but she finally goes, "Friends."
I grab Hugo and then I grab Ken and I pull them in closer and I'm like, "You want to say that to..." Like I start waving over Belgrin and kind of Morgan, but you know it's a little new. And I'm like, "You want to say that just again?"
I think I've said enough. I think that's fine. More than
I mean, you
plenty.
could you'd say one more time.
You're like Hugo with his heel. Fine. I consider you friends. Or good enough?
Good for me.
She turns to Morgan and she like becomes a little more serious. She goes, "Not you."
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
yet.
nope, I got it.
Yeah, fuck you. I just want you to know.
But we
I
will
think-
see.
Yeah, time.
As the
Time will tell.
conversation peters out, Kiara stops her painting and quite abruptly sort of picks up her easel and then just puts it down facing the fireplace, facing you guys. Turns around and, "No one's sharing my tent." Puts her tent down, climbs in, closes it. As you all look
What
over,
about Durnick?
he's got his own tent, but as you look over, there's a painting of the six of you, including Finn,
Oh,
and it's from quite early on. You can see it's where you camped shortly before getting attacked by those strange tree-flying creatures, and you'll notice a few details she's added in that weren't really there. Firstly, Belgrin, you drew a mark on the board in the
Resting
place where people shelter, the resting place. And she sort of inscribed that on the back of your shield, that you can see as you're holding it there. And then as you look closely, you will notice that Jexera, Belgrin, and Kimball all have a rose sort of tucked through their belt or clutched in their hand or pinned on their shirt or something like that. And she's just sort of written on at the top in quite elegant scroll, "Good company." She's just left it there and gone to bed. And on that note, just before we end, you can have 30 experience points for seeing a squirrel to safety.
Such exists.
Did you want to say anything?
Yeah, how many miles away are we from the gate?
A long way.
Oh, a long
More than
way.
50.
Yes.
Okay. I just want to double check.
Okay. We are.
Quick XP check. Are we all on 3,850?
Yes.
As the crow flies, you've come 145 miles.
Okay.
Like, obviously, you haven't done that. You've gone sort of long past. It's probably.
No, that's fine. It's too far for what I wanted to do.
Whose tent does Morgan choose to stay in?
I would give sort of a questioning look at Jaxara, assuming the answer would be no, but just seeing if she would allow it.
My shade is your shade. But
Yeah, sadly enough, Hugo and I share tents as brothers.
I think this is the first time we're sharing it.
Yeah, we've shared a bed growing up a couple of times. It's not like it's a big deal.
Said, Morgan, pick whoever. No one's gonna judge you for anything.
Fuck it, take Hugo's spot. He seems a little judgmental about it.
I'm not judgmental. You're telling people that we share 10. Right? I have my own 10.
If you wouldn't mind, Jaxara.
my shade is your shade. I sleep very lightly though. Do not try to wake me unless it's emergency.
I sleep like a bear. Good night.
That's amazing.
I just throw my arm around Belgrade and say, well, let's go drink and be merry, pal.
You just hear very quietly after you've all settled in. My shade's my own shade, I guess. And Dernek just zip his tent up and go to that road. And on that note, that is where we'll end. MVPs. Who did the... Miller did. Miller did the recap. So Nathan, your MVP.
I have a bunch, so if there are
Pick
any
one,
left
then
at
we'll
the
come
end,
back to you. Yep.
I'll do one. I'll do one only. I gotta pick my favorite. I think probably my favorite. It's tough. I think Josh's question saying I could take 2 at a time if they don't mind taking damage in my belly with the frog.
Oscar.
Oh goodness. Very I kind of a broad one more than anything. I do like the fact that there was a lot more of role playing going into this one than there was combat or anything. I do appreciate combat as much as, you know, I do, but especially playing a character that's more fit for it. But Finn leaving was kind of funny. Just takes the door, gone.
Fuck you guys.
And then we Morgan runs up with a orc behind her. I thought that was kind of funny. But I think I gotta go. My personal MVP would be her running up, us having this whole conversation, us talking, all of that, and then Kimball going, "I need to talk to you."
Josh.
I mean, it just happened, but it's so funny that Jace is like, you know, I'm a light sleeper, so, you know, just keep it down. And Morgan's like, I sleep like a bear, goodbye. So freaking funny. But I also really enjoyed the vulture and the squirrel. They were a lot of fun to interact with.
Okay. Alora?
I'm gonna go back to pretty much the very beginning with the discussion of voting, and then we don't have a leader, we're a democracy. That would mean voting.
It would!
You would think so.
Bumpkin.
I want to put a leader in charge of this group.
I guess I'd say, like, us starting to have those more difficult conversations as a group and processing what we do, like that, I guess, like, on a very broad stroke, is something that I'm very much enjoying right now. But on a lighter note, I think my MVP for tonight goes to the squirrel for doing the timeless magic trick of what's up behind your ear and flipping up like another orcish ear behind the human ear. It's pretty great.
And Miller.
I have a funny one and then an RP one. The RP one was the whole conversation with Hugo, Kensidin, Jexera at the bonfire. That was wonderful, and I loved listening to it. And then the funny one is actually harkening back to the voting, which was the almost hour later comeback of, I guess we do vote, and then we moved on.
Yep. Derek was quite surprised. I liked the Frog Destroyer, or Destroyer of Frog, various different struggles between the Frog and the Frog. What does the Frog do to save Jexera? I watch. But that could be but I quite enjoyed Oscar's. He'll want to introduce himself. He's Hugo. At the beginning. Nathan, anything else to say?
I think my best funny one was Kensidin saying, "Yeah, Finn's been quiet the last few days."
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The player in me really enjoyed that one. I liked it a lot.
It was definitely a fourth wall. But anyway, that is where we're going to end. So if you guys would like to say goodbye,
Bye.
Goodbye.
Very well.
we shall see you soon.